Outlaw Gamer. That's right, the James Gang. Now, right now, some of you are probably asking yourself, what in the hell is an outlaw gamer? And I can tell you, outlaw gamer is, first off, in order to count as an outlaw gamer, as far as people actually recognizing you're an outlaw gamer, you have to not be beholden to some so called community. So even if you're playing like the popular game, as long as you represent yourself as an individual and you're not, you know, trying to just follow the trends or go online and like rely on talking heads like myself to tell you how you should play your game, then in today's day and age, that's kind of the outlaw gamer, right? Because we've got a lot of what you could call corporate gamers. I mean, we've got a ton of corporate gamers, and we've got a ton of corporate gamer talking heads out there that just get online and, you know, try to hype up whatever the new thing is, whether they actually intend to play it or even like it or whatever. The thing with game creators or commenters or whatever you want to call people like that, myself, is yeah, David Allen Coe. That's what I'm talking about. How you doing, Daniel? Um, or the Highwayman, but whatever. The thing about content creation for gaming, and this is true for almost all gaming, but especially true more than anything for role playing. Like it's not quite as true for war gamers, but it's still true. It's just not as apparent. And that is that the so-called community that they've created online is very incestuous. You know, it's like none of them are ever really going to ever publicly. What's up, Bo? How you doing, man? How's the miniatures coming? I'm painting a miniature right now. I'm not sure it was supposed to be this, but it's a guy in a robe and then some kind of weird torture device. So I was like, all right, I guess I'll glue him to it and paint him up. And who knows? I mean, I do have an adventure coming up where some cultists of an incredibly bad deity uh, are trying to capture people off the city streets and sacrifice them to their god by putting them on the inside of a, as they would call it, a brazen bull. So basically, their method of sacrifice is put somebody in a hollow bronze bull and then light a big fire under it, which to me seems like an incredibly horrible way to die. But hey, you know, the best you can hope for is to go quick, I guess. But look at that light shining. And you hate the people who don't game too. Well, see, to me, it's like I've been around a long time. I've been around doing this for 15 plus years, right? And yeah, I started out as a super nobody, filming myself on an old Kodak camera that had a memory card that I had to, take out and put in the computer and whatever. Um, yeah. Imagine working on some 15 mil stuff. Well, I mean, unfortunately, I have too much 28 mil stuff for Hyperborea, and that's what I'm working on now. Uh, yeah, the online content creation for just about everything is super incestuous. It's like, and I'm going to name some names that come to mind first off, and these aren't people I have any like animus against, But if you look at Professor Dungeon Master, under no circumstances, no matter how stupid Jenny D, Bob World Builder, or any other person in their little community are, none of them will ever call the others out. It does not matter, right? And I guess they think that's being polite and being nice and, not talking shit. But to me, if you see somebody actively being an idiot, not calling them out, in my opinion, is being an idiot. It's like, but that is the issue with RPG gaming. And then, of course, you've got your usual suspects that are always pushing whatever the corporate thing is. See, Outlaw Gamers, they're the ones that when everyone else is talking about whatever the current flavor of the month game is, that's probably not going to last. They and their friends are still playing like Star Frontiers, or something like that. That's an outlaw gamer, right? Everybody's like, hey, you need to go out and buy Starfinder or some shit. It's awesome. It's the best. And the outlaw gamer's like, nah, I'm gonna keep playing Star Frontiers. The outlaw gamer don't give a shit about trends or trying to keep up with what the new thing is, generally speaking. Some people, I guess, could say the outlaw gamer type is just needlessly a contrarian, but that's not true, because as hard as it may be for a lot of people to believe, uh, sometimes the majority are not right. I mean, sometimes just because a lot of people like something don't make it good. I mean, it's still bad. And there's so many games out there I could point to, and that would prove that point. It's like, look at how much certain people like try to glaze freaking thirsty sword lesbians. A game about lesbians who want to fall in love and have sexual relations, written by a man. So that's great. And we all know the only reason anyone even mentions the game is because it fits into a political ideology that they want to push. Because honestly, if you wanted to play a gay person, lesbian or otherwise, and run around like trying to hook up with people of your sex, believe you me, you could do that with just about any role-playing game. You don't need a whole new game to play a gay person. I mean, hell, when I was like 16 or 17, I used to game with a guy named Jeff. And now I don't know if Jeff was gay, because I wasn't like following him around, seeing who he was dating or anything like that, because that's not my business or anything, right? But he was always playing like a cleric of some god of beauty or something that was 100% like homosexual. Like when we played in the Forgotten Realms, he was worshiping the goddess of beauty or whatever, and his whole character concept was basically he was a twink, like a really handsome but twink kind of cleric dude, and he's gay. And I remember thinking, well, that's a little weird, but okay, whatever. Yeah, real life politics in games suck. They do. And that brings me to the next thing. You're not an outlaw gamer when someone shows up at your War Games convention. This happened at Nova, which is not even really worth mentioning the convention. It's not that big of a thing. But someone showed up with a bunch of dire bears painted up in trans colors. And like Care Bears, they had like different things that that particular ideology hates. So one of them had like a swastika with like a circle and a slash through it and whatever. And the Care Bears were all standing up like rah, vicious attack mode, right? And then they took a bunch of like zombies and had them all like attacking the Care Bears, but the zombies were all wearing red MAGA hats. And somehow or another, this person did very okay, reconnected. This is so brave and daring that we're going. Nova organizers had to come out and say they did their games or in anything like that. And that caused all of the hyper leftists to get mad at Nova for saying they didn't want that kind of stuff at their convention. So it was like, on the one hand, you had this shitty look. I'm not a good painter. I admit it. I'll re-say it, Bo. I paint most of my shit with Army Painter or Vallejo Express paints and maybe a dry brush and maybe the details. And all of this maybe is seriously maybe. It just depends. If I paint it up and it looks pretty good, I'm like, all right, we're good. Let's throw this shit on the table and get with it, right? This person basically painted these bears with Army Painter or contrast paint. And there was nothing special about them. And even like I saw, the main one I saw was the one in the middle with the swastika and the red circle and the X through it, like no Nazis. And they didn't even do the swastika well. I mean, the miniature would look better if they had went around and found some World War II kits, German tanks or something, and grabbed a transfer or something. I mean, it didn't look good. It looked like shit. It actually looked like a 6-year-old drew that swastika on the bear. And then they made all the zombies that looked identical. So, they were all primered white and given a freaking undead flesh Army Painter quick thing, right? And they molded MAGA hats on them. I mean, when you display that at your tournament, you're basically telling at least half of the people at the tournament maybe to fuck themselves, right? And that's why the politics shouldn't be in the game. But they don't seem to understand that because these people aren't there to play a game. They're there to kidnap your game and co-opt it to spread their point of view, their ideology, their whatever it is, So yeah. And then, like I said, in the end, Nova had to apologize to this group and then that group and then this group and that group. And all I gotta say is we'll see. I mean, next year when Nova gets half the players, or maybe none, maybe the pro idiots will stay home and all the normal people will stay home, and there'll be like 2 guys at Nova waiting to try to play some war game. And it'll be like, well, whose fault is this? Like who do you blame? You offended all the normal people and then tried to appease the weirdos. And it's like, the only politics I want in my game, Lowenstadt, is like nobles getting pissed off at barons and players being hired to take out courtiers. See, that kind of politics is awesome. You know what I mean? Like the politics that might happen between different kingdoms and nobles within a family. Yeah, let's throw that in there. That's good, Or maybe if you're playing Twilight 2000, the politics between the grizzled American vet that survived World War II and communists in Poland. Hell yeah. I mean, that's a thing too. But the trans identity bullshit doesn't belong in any game at all. Well, maybe Twilight 2000 if you've got just some weird fucker running around the post-apocalyptic world in a dress. But unless they're a good fighter, they're going to get whacked. You know, I mean, somebody's going to see that and be like, yeah, we're going to go ahead and shoot this guy, you know. See, the idea of trans identity in a fantasy role-playing game, especially a high magic game like D&D, makes no sense. And these people don't seem to understand that. It's like, you know, like a moderately leveled fighter, not fighter. That would be one way to handle the situation. But a moderately leveled mage can actually use magic and make you the thing you want to be. You know what I'm saying? If you're like a dude and you want to be a chick, hey, go to the right mage or archmage with some money. And he'll make that shit happen. You won't have to be running around like in 5e with freaking mastectomy scars, you know, top surgery. I mean, who in the fuck in Forgotten Realms is doing top surgeries? When you have mages on every street corner that can just go alakazam and boom, guess what? Your boobs are gone. You got a dick. Go out there and live your best life. Whatever, right? And if you're playing a game like Traveler, well, that far in the future, man, they could probably rewrite your fucking DNA and make you literally a woman again. I mean, in 2300, they can do all kinds of DNAMs to make you able to resist like super high gravity and low gravity and aquatic and all this shit. So they could probably do a little bit of internal plumbing switcheroo with that level of technology. But so in either case, the idea of like a trans person makes zero sense because you're not going to be trans. They're just going to make you the thing you want to be. So, you know, hell, if you're a freak, I know in Cyberpunk, how you doing, Bear? In Cyberpunk, there was an adventure, and this is an old one, old Cyberpunk adventure, like when it was Cyberpunk 2013 or something. And there was like this whorehouse where all the whores were like cat girls, like literally with tails and cat ears and the whole 9 yards, like, you know, cat girls from anime. Because in Cyberpunk, they have the technology to literally just do that. And while to me that might seem weird, I mean, what are you going to do? The chick's got a tail and cat ears. If that's what you're into, I guess knock yourself out, right? Bear, your mic is off. So yeah, that kind of and I guess that's political. I don't know, but it has no place in games because every game can just handle it. Like I said, like the wheelchair thing, the wheelchair people are convinced that everyone who disagrees with the wheelchair concept is like an evil human being. But the reality is, no, we're just logical, rational human beings, and we understand that. Unless you're playing in like a game like Baptism of Fire, where magic is damn near non-existent and, you know, whatever. If you're playing in a normal fantasy role-playing game, there's a wizard out there or a cleric that can just roll up, say some prayers, and guess what? You're not crippled anymore. Oh, you got your arm bit off? No problem. There's someone out there that can roll up and cast a spell and your arm will grow back. Yeah, you're going to need money, but shit, you know, these games, a lot of them are made in America. Therefore, if you want the best healthcare, you're going to need money. And if you don't want to pay the money to get that best healthcare, then you're going to sit at home and I guess spend your days making arrows or mending socks or something. I mean, life is not fair. That's why we wear helmets. But yeah, so that's a big part of the outlaw country thing is not getting involved with groupthink. And that's a huge thing I've noticed over the past 15 or 16 years. Rah! With
my mic isn't muted, by the way. I was just doing something.
You're just listening.
And now I'm being attacked by a cat.
There's too much group think. But luckily I've managed to surround myself with a lot of people who, for good or ill, do not fall into that category. I mean, some of the people I hang out with, they seem like they're just contrary for the fuck of it. Which is, amusing. It's good. It's good to be challenged, right? And that's why, even though I can honestly say I am a huge Professor Dungeon Master respecter, I like the guy. I think he's one of us deep down inside. I know he's a nice guy. I've exchanged messages back and forth. But at the same time, because he desires to be popular, he has to, at least in my opinion, pretend to be part of the group think. And that's why even though he makes his own game, now he's changing up a lot, but he was so 5e, whatever. And that's one of the things I've talked to him about multiple times. Like, you come off as fake, bro, because we all know you don't play 5e. I mean, all you got to do is be like me and listen to what the guy says about his game. And you're like, yeah, you're not playing 5e. I don't know exactly what you're playing, but it is not 5e. But yet you're on here talking about 5e. It's like, get out of here, come on, bro. And I mean that with all the love in the world, because like I said, I think Dan is a great guy. And I like a lot of his videos, especially when he talks about painting and getting miniatures and building shit. I mean, that kind of stuff really appeals. But hey, Shadow and Sun 3550. That means he must be on his phone or on a different computer or something. So I guess I was just thinking about that. I'm like, I think that a lot of the people you see on panels and just basically hanging out and shit talking each other here, we are definitely not members of the community. And we're definitely not part of the group thing. Because if we were, instead of talking about like big booty goth chicks or whatever the fuck we go off on, we would be creating content talking about how to make your 5e game even better. And of course, it would be some shit someone else said like 6 months ago. But that's another thing I noticed about content creation for role playing. It's the same thing, recycled every 6 months. It's like somebody makes a video about strongholds, and then the next video will be about mages, and the next video will be about random encounters, the next video will be about whatever. And if you wait on that timeline, eventually the next video will be about strongholds. And that's why I deleted all my videos, because I felt like I was a hamster on a wheel. It's like, that's actually, as a guy who's been playing role-playing games a long time, and I know some of you guys can relate with this, the hardest part about content creation is when you get to the point where you feel like you've said everything you have to say. And there's just nothing more you can add. It's like, mages rule. AD&D wasn't a horrible game. It also wasn't a great game. Whatever your opinions are. Yes, there should always be, high-level play in games, like domain play. Whatever your opinions are, it's like, well, once you give your opinions, what are you going to do? Hey, how you doing, Dan? I don't want to be part of any community. I'm not part of your guys' community. We're just buddies. We hang out. We talk shit. I guess that's technically a community, but I prefer to call it, like in the title, a gang. We're a gang of free thinkers who all have our own opinions about shit, and we agree a lot of the time. And sometimes we make each other crazy. And you want to just bang your head against a wall. But at the end of the day, what am I supposed to do? Like fucking start flipping for the man, like go out and buy a bunch of 5e books and log on every day and be like the Grognard's guide to playing the best game of 5e freaking ever, and how to introduce like all kinds of leftist politics into the game. It's like, no, I ain't doing that. I'd quit gaming before I'd do that. Like I would literally just sell everything I own and hang out in the backyard playing bocce ball all day. With on like game days when my friends come over, that would be what we'd do. I'd grill hot dogs and we'd play bocce ball.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
You like that?
I love this idea. I'm down for it.
I love bocce ball. I mean, if you're trying to distract me, that is a fact. That's one of my favorite games. Throw the one ball out and then everybody tries to get closest to it. I mean, so simple, so fun. And if you're grilling, that's a perfect weekend, right?
I'm just there for the grill.
Yeah. So it's like, whatever. I was listening to a song. I'll stop being super serious right now. Of course you can. Just don't have your wiener out, or I'll have to kick you, ban you, and then delete that section of the video. So that is the rule. If you want to pull your wiener out, we all know whose channel you need to go to, and it ain't this one. I thought I already put the link in, but Bear, I must warn you, I've got a full thought in my mind. I don't know. I was listening to Bell Biv DeVoe earlier, Bear. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I love that song.
Do you? I do too. What's up with you, man? Why are you so quiet?
Just a day, brother. Just having a day.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, man.
It's all good. It'll pass.
Yeah.
That's why I came here. I don't want to talk. I just want to hang out, say what I want to say when I say it, and otherwise just chill with everybody and be around people I like.
What makes you think I do any of that stuff, man?
Always welcome. What?
You said don't pull out your wiener. What makes you think I'd do that?
Oh, are you?
Yeah, that's my channel, YouTube channel. I just never changed the name on it.
You have a YouTube channel?
Yeah, I just never really post much on it. I have videos on it, just never have in years posted anything.
Yeah, PB, the thing is like, the reason I keep bringing up community is that's not a word any of us ever invented. That's a word that the people I'm talking about all invented. Because, and I think we agree here, and if we don't, you can jump in and tell me we don't, but I think the whole reason some of these people invent the idea of a community is specifically so they can control it, as opposed to just being gamers, just guys that hang out and like playing games and shit. Yeah, I fell asleep too, but I'm going to catch Bears game. Freaking
yeah, somebody was making jokes about Bear getting Valium.
Well, Bear's just relaxing. It's good to relax. Sometimes it's good to just take a minute and look around, right? As Ferris Bueller said, every now and then, just got to look around.
Well, James, my game didn't go as well as I hoped yesterday.
Why am I not surprised?
It's not the DM's fault this time. My power went out.
Oh, so you literally, got screwed. That sucks, homie.
Yeah.
But then again, I got the picture of like your yard, and I got a picture from my mom too. My mom's even worse off than you are, and yours is pretty. I mean, a lot of people think Kentucky gets cold, but it doesn't.
Not usually, no.
I mean, it gets
It
chilly.
can get cold, but it's not
No,
often.
dude, until you've been to like North Dakota, you don't know what cold
Well,
is.
I'm saying relatively here.
Or I assume north of North Dakota, which would
Look,
be super North Dakota, Canada.
look, I'm saying
You know,
it's
like,
all relative here. Right? When I say cold, it's cold for Kentucky.
right. It's like, oh man, it's like below freezing. I'm so cold. And then you go to North Dakota and it's like you walk outside and you're like, holy shit, my snot has turned into fucking icicles. I'm literally dying. I need to go back in the house before I, freeze up and die, And from what I've heard, I don't know, but I do watch TV shows, like Saskatchewan's even worse. It's like an extension of North Dakota, but even more cranked up. So
There was
us guys from the hills, man, we really don't know cold. I do because I've been to North Dakota. I've been to like Central Alaska. I know what cold is.
Yeah, again, I'm not going to say it gets as cold as that. No, I understand. It gets so cold I don't want to move there or be around there or visit.
Yeah. See, I like the cold, so whatever. But Kentucky's about perfect cold for me. You get like a foot of snow.
Maybe
You
a
play in
couple
it
of
for a little while. Eventually, it goes away, and then you get back to
maybe a
living
few
in a
inches of
temperate
ice.
forested area.
Yeah, maybe a few inches of ice, but that's about the worst it gets.
Whereas when you live up on Eagle River, when the winter hits, and it's literally 6 months of the year at least is winter.
Yeah, no thanks.
And you're trying to get like snow off your roof so that the roof don't cave in. So you got to go out and try to climb up on the roof and like chop it with a flathead shovel and push it off the roof. That's actually hilarious and fun. I had a great time doing it, but that was real deal cold though.
Yeah, I started. I got to start the game in Bubba's game, and then lost my power, and then basically got in just as soon as it was about to end, pretty much.
Well, at least you managed to get back in though and let him know, hey, I wasn't,
Oh, I told him beforehand I was on my phone, but
Also,
it was starting to get kind of cold, so I had to quit.
I'm glad that I managed to hook you up with Richard.
Bloodsworth, yeah. I got an idea
Yeah,
for his
because
game.
he is definitely a DM who wants to run games and needs some players he can count on.
I already got a pretty good idea of what I want to do in Bloodsworth.
He's such a nice guy. It's like, who wouldn't want to hang out with him?
Yeah. You want to hear what my plan is?
Oh, God. I can only imagine. What is your plan?
I'm going to be a mad scientist.
Okay.
I'm basically basing my character off of Doc Brown from Back to the Future.
That is a lot more imaginative than I would have been. I would have probably stole my character idea from one of the Sackett boys from the books.
Yeah, fair.
And been like, I'm from Kentucky, but I moved out west after I got done fighting in the war, and now I'm
my plan was either
doing other things.
Be basically kind of like a ripoff of Jonah Hex, or base my character off of Emmett Brown now.
Well, there is a chance to be kind of like a Jonah Hex, because if your character dies in that game, I think you roll some, or you draw some cards, and if you draw like a black Joker or something, you might come back. And then you're like a Revenant, like in High Plains Drifter,
Yeah, I was thinking of like more of an old school. I don't think Jonah Hex started off as a Revenant. That's the thing. He was just a guy with a
Revenant, is he?
I don't know. His lore is weird to me. I know a little bit of it. It was mostly.
Thought he was just a Confederate soldier that got half a face blown off.
He was a Confederate soldier who also was like part of a native tribe for a little bit, but then something happened with that, and that's where he got his face whenever they did something to him to brand him as a traitor or something like that.
Ah. See, I thought he just shot a Union cannonball to the face and effed him up.
No, it was a native
But
thing. I
him
think
being
does
part of
that.
an Indian tribe makes sense since in our actual world Civil War, the vast majority of the American Indians fought for the Confederacy.
Hmm.
Actually, I think the last unit to surrender was the Cherokee Rifles.
Yeah,
Because they
basically,
were really mad at the Bluecoats for how, the Bluecoats had been treating them.
I think he got
And the
betrayed by.
Graycoats, when the war kicked off, told him, hey, if you help us, you're going to get all your land. We're going to leave you alone. You're going to be your own independent country.
Yeah, but
And they're like, well, that's a good deal.
Jonah
Now,
Hex,
whether it would have happened or not, we'll never know, will we?
yeah. Jonah Hex, he got betrayed by like the chief's son, I think, because he got jealous of Hex and thought that he'd take over.
Mm.
And then it was the whole thing. And then instead, Hex went off and did his own thing as a bounty hunter. And somewhere in that, during the superhero era, they decided to take him to the future and give him future tech.
Huh.
And then send him back.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm sitting here thinking about the outlaw Josie Wells when he's talking to Chief Joseph, and he's all like, I reckon you and me got a problem with the white man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's like, you're the Gray Rider who wouldn't surrender. He's like, white men been sneaking up on us for a long time, right?
Yeah.
Like, I love that movie. Those
To be
two
fair,
are
though,
so they play off of each other so well.
in Justice League, it was kind of fun to see Jonah Hex.
I've moved on.
Okay. I just don't know how I'm gonna work with the Doc Brown thing. The whole invention stuff or tech is gonna be.
Well, if you're playing Deadlands, you're going to play a mad scientist.
Yep.
And you're going to use Ghost Rock to make crazy shit that may or may not kill you.
Yeah.
Or it could be really cool. But either way, you're going to be part of the problem.
True.
Because burning Ghost
Oh, we lost James.
Rock increases.
Okay, I think it's stabilized a little bit.
Did you?
What?
Looks normal to me, and it's not telling me that I'm having any problems.
Yeah, you were kind of cutting out there.
Oh, no, what I'm saying though is because you're a mad scientist and you're burning Ghost Rock, and the more you burn Ghost Rock, the more it increases the fear level of the region you're in. And the higher the fear level of the region you're in, the more Manitou and shit like that can show up to ruin everyone's day. So yeah, you're part of the problem and you don't even know it.
I know. Not to mention that you're slowly going crazy because all this tech that you're getting is actually from the like demons and monsters that you're supposed to be fighting.
Yeah. I mean, it is definitely. Oh, that's too bad, Paul. That sucks. Shadow had a great game last night. Well, Shadow, when you get done making yourself a sandwich or whatever excuse you're going to use today, you could drop in and tell us about your game. I mean, I spent like 30 minutes ranting on about what I was ranting on about. Is just a thought I had in my head, like there is a certain amount of what's it called? Nihilism, I think, that comes with being a content creator on YouTube if you take it too seriously, because like I said, at the end of the day, even a 50-year-old dude like me that's had a pretty extraordinary life really just runs out of shit to say. Maybe that's just my problem though, guys. Maybe that's just my problem. I can foresee the time, I don't know how long it'll be from now, where I do my goodbye speech, my swan song, and I just spend this time sitting on a rock on a mountainside and just staring out through the forest, and just hanging out like that, and just being like that until I die. Because by that time, I would have said everything I wanted to say. And it'd be time to just go back up to the mountains and finish off this wonderful ride I've been on,
Yeah.
which I will call my life. And then hopefully I'm right about some things and things work out. But if I'm not right about those things and I just end up rotting in the ground, well, I won't know about it. So it won't be a big deal anyway. Right? So no lose for me. If I'm right, it's awesome. And if I'm wrong, it still don't suck. But that's just all I wanted to say. And just and again, I'm not trying to attack Jenny D. I'm definitely not trying to attack Professor Dungeon Master. I'm just pointing out, if you see me, I have this weird thing in my brain where I have like a heightened pattern recognition. I can't help it and I hate it. And if you've been around a little while, you just recognize these reoccurring themes. And like I said, that's why all of the main RPG pundit type people, not the pundit, but they'll never actually be honest really about anything. Like you can hand them that book about the floating crystal city full of freaking retards running around trying to cook curry. And the vast majority of them will swear up and down it's like the best thing they ever saw. But you and I both know it's garbage, right? But these people will tell you it's good. And you get that in the wargaming community too. You've got like a couple guys up in Canada. I forget his name. He's got a good channel as far as production and stuff. It's really good. But no matter what Games Workshop puts out, he will swear up and down it's the best shit he ever saw. Every time. And it's like, how many times can you see the best thing you ever saw? Like you get to a point where every Space Marine is the best Space Marine when it comes out, and everyone should run out and buy it every time. And since I've watched a lot of his videos, I noticed this shit, and I'm just like, that's not even possible. That's not logically possible. Things cannot just constantly keep getting better than the last thing. It doesn't work that way with songs. It doesn't work that way with music. It doesn't work that way with movies. So why would it work that way with miniature games or RPGs? Stupid. And then 6th edition will come out. And all of these people, mark my words right now, when 6th edition releases, Jenny D and every single one of them will be talking shit about how it's the greatest version of D&D to ever exist. Which is stupid because we all know the greatest version of D&D to ever exist is Hyperborea. See, Barrett took 43 minutes that time. But and then there's that. It's like, watch their channels. If every version of D&D is the best version when it comes out, this is one problem I have with my bro, Mr. Garrity, Mr. Scott, my brother in Baltimore. It's like everything that Wizard Coast does is the best thing that ever happened. And I'm just like, dude, that's just not. I tell you what, I long for that kind of, I don't even know if you'd call it naivety or. It must be nice being that easy to please. You know what I mean? It's like, it'd be like being a little child and just like every now and then someone hands you a piece of candy and you're just like, ooh, candy, and like every time you get the candy, you're like, ooh, candy, you're like so happy about it.
Ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy.
Oh, damn. Was that James Woods?
I don't know. I
think that was James Woods in The Simpsons. They were luring him around with candy or something.
No, it was Family Guy.
Whatever one. I think it's James Woods. Because I think he's from Quahog or whatever, like in real life. Yeah, I agree, PB. And it annoys me because that's what I'm saying. It's like, ugh. I mean, I'm happy for them. They're making money. They're doing their thing, and I'm glad if they're able to support their families and whatever by doing what they're doing. But it just feels so useless to me. It's like just so meaningless after a while. But then again, maybe I'm just being melancholy. I mean, it's 32 fucking degrees in Florida after it was 80 something degrees yesterday. So I'm sitting here feeling wonderful because I actually love when it's cold. I do. So does my boy, my Palm. So, my wife's like, I want to turn the heater on. I'm like, 65. Because no way you're going to turn that heat up above 70. Get out of here,
Okay, it's a high of 28 right now.
Well, I expect it to be colder up there. You're higher elevation, further north, yeah. This has been a weird kind of week in all of America and North America, Canada too, man. It's like something happened and the cold just came out and decided, F you guys.
Oh, this
And
Saturday,
F your
it's
couch too,
going to go back down to 17 with, I think, a low of 8.
Yeah. But
Snow.
I guess I've pretty much said everything there is to say on the topic that I was talking about today, really. I mean, what is there to say? Nothing. I said it. Some people will hear it and they'll be like, yeah. And some people will hear it and they'll be like, no.
I gotta disagree with you though, James. Hyperborea is not the best. It's 7th in 2025. I mean 2035. Yeah. I don't know.
A warm towel to me. Wrap the warm, hot towel around your head and thaw out your brain, please.
I need to.
I think Left took a bunch of cold medicine this morning.
No.
And he's just fucking high.
No.
He's been drinking that Zero and he's got all that codeine and everything in him. And he's just fucking, the best game's going to be 7th edition and it's coming out last year.
I'm just getting into character for the mad scientist I'm going to build.
I guess. I picked a few of these guys up from Reaper. They were cheap. And I thought, that's a weird fucking monster that I have a miniature for, that I need a miniature for. I mean, because, obviously getting ran down by a giant snow and beat to death by flails coming out of its head, that's a thing.
That is definitely a thing.
That's definitely a thing. So I picked some of those up. And I've got my super white paint out, my Vallejo pure white, because I'm getting ready to paint my Killer Whales white, which is generally just the belly, like from the bottom jaw down the belly and then around the eyes. So sometimes there's different markings, but so it'll be easy. Right? If I was actually cold, I actually have cold weather gear for when I go up north. Like, because not for a long time, but there was a time that I went up and did a lot of hunting on my property. It's been years and years, but and hunting season is generally in the colder part of the year. So, I had my freaking long johns is what we call them, or long underwear. And in Kentucky, though, the coldest it's ever been in Kentucky, I've like long underwear, jeans, some good Gore-Tex lined boots. I've got a hunter's hat, which is kind of like those goofy Canadian hats, and it's really thick in wool, and then like a nice thick flannel. And the flannel I have is actually a lined flannel, so it looks flannel, but it's actually got like some kind of lining. And if it's really cold out, then I'll wear like a toque under that the hat, and I'll wear some face protection. But it's almost never that cold, you know. Whereas when you're in like North Dakota or Alaska, you have to actually buy specific gear for winter. You can't get by with just I'm going to throw my flannel on, I'll be fine. No, you won't. You'll be dead. So when I was up there, I had like all of the what I described, but then I had a suit that unzipped, and I'd step in the suit and then pull it on, and you zip that thing up. Well, you zipped it and then folded it over and velcroed it, and then pulled it up, and you had like this whole fucking parka like thing. Those ear flaps do save your ass. People don't understand, man. There's nothing worse than your ears getting a little frosty, man. And you know you're effed if your ears get real cold and then all of a sudden they start feeling kind of warmish. It's like, yeah, you're getting frostbite, dude. That's frostbite. You don't want that.
Yep, that is definitely frostbite.
Yeah, that's not a good thing. And like up in the frozen north, I mean, it'll hit you quicker than you think, you know. You'll think everything's good, and the next thing you know, they'll be cutting a toe off. And you're like, well, that happened quick. But like I said, get you a nice big set of Gore-Tex boots, and don't go for anything unless it's rubber. Your winter boots have to be rubber. They can have like canvas uppers, maybe, but the actual boot, like that your foot is in, that needs to be rubber, because if you wander around out there and your feet get wet, you again, hosed. Freaking hosed. So I had them in here. I must have moved them back in the closet when I got packed my shit from the trip to Georgia. Yeah, I got a set. They're camouflaged because, I mean, you know, I'm from Kentucky, so, you know, I wear camouflage a lot. And they're high Gore-Tex lined boots, and the top are like really thick, stiff canvas with like that mossy pine pattern. And the bottom, like half is rubber. And then they got really thick soles that are all super knobby for when you're trying to run up a hillside or something. I like those boots. My wife hates them, but she's weird. That goes without saying. She married me. In my family news, and I hope all of your families are doing great, my brother-in-law will be down here on the weekend. He is a big, filthy freaking hippie, Bernie bro, likes to smoke weed and drink IPAs. So he's one of those guys. And I'll probably have him pick a character and join us for the Hyperborea game someday. I mean, the thing is, yeah, he's a filthy hippie. I know it, and he knows it. And he knows my opinions, but what the fuck are you going to do? He's my brother-in-law. I mean, you know, we have to abide, you know, we have to coexist. There's literally no option, because mama would not be happy if me and her older brother were scrapping all the freaking time or whatever. So that's just not even an option. So we've reached kind of a detente where we just don't talk politics at all. I tied in Splendor again. This shit is getting freaking haunting, you know? It's like, how do you play 6 games and tie in 5 of them, right? And Splendor is not the kind of game that's easy to tie. I mean, you just wouldn't think that shit would be possible, but but it keeps happening. So we'll play again tonight. We'll see what happens. Aggravated the wife a little bit because I woke up much earlier than her this morning and decided to cook me a big old bowl of curry. And apparently the smell of the curry stuck in the microwave and everything. And then like I laid back down next to her to watch TV. And apparently I had really bad curry breath. So that's the really the most important thing that happened this morning, is me getting yelled at for smelling like the undergarments of an Indian wrestler, you know. And I was like, well, you'll be happy. I'm out of curry. And she's like, yes. And I'm like, but I already ordered some. She's like, no. I ordered the gold capped curry that actually I think is imported from India. Comes in a jar and it's got like a gold cap and it's freaking delicious. And I still, though, see, you don't have to worry, guys. I still have about a quarter of a container of tikka masala. So I'm still good, I'm still good. It's Doc Pilkington, right? Doc Pilkington riding across the Wild West on his Ghost Rock steam-powered gyrocopter
We'll see what I make.
with his Ghost Rock steam-powered spring-loaded automatic pistol with rotating barrels.
I'm thinking about more of a rifle.
I buy the actual powder, but like I said, it's actual Indian curry powder, and I buy the extra hot because honestly, I don't even think it's hot. And then, in addition to what I did with the curry, when I pulled the food out, I grabbed one of my jars of all natural fermented kimchi and threw a big chunk of that on top of it too, like a nice good handful right on top. So yeah, she got to wake up to my curry / kimchi breath this morning. She's complaining about it a little bit. And I was like, hey, nothing you can do about it, so you might as well just relax. Man, that reminds me of like our 4th date. But anyway, I don't want to get into that, but giggity. But yeah. I'm probably the only hillbilly from the whole county I'm from that's like eats curry as much as I do. Well, no. Well, okay, yeah, because Haas is a Florida man. So even though he's living in Tennessee, he's a Florida man. Is born in mostly, well, quite a bit raised here. So, because I know he eats curry too, but he likes Japanese curry, is what he eats. Which, whatever. But I have seen in fancy stores, like to me, Publix, they do sell the looks like toothpaste tubes of curry or garlic ginger pastes. The main reason I buy the powder is pretty much because it lasts. I can put it in the pantry and it'll stay good effectively until I use it all. And the problem with the paste is once you open it, I mean, you're on a clock. So
So it's a lot like wine. If you open wine, you're already on a clock.
So that's basically what we're working with. I might neaten it up a little bit.
Giant walking orca. That's terrifying.
And I'm also going to, well, I got paint its eyes in. And then I'm going to neaten up the lines. And after I do that, I'm going to give it a nice gloss coat. And I'm going to leave it gloss coated. Because the whole thing is I want it to
They're sharing
look.
something with you.
Okay. The whole point is, oh, there's somebody waiting to, yeah, okay. Sorry. Let's see what we
There's
got
that too,
here.
I guess. I didn't know that part. I just seen Bear saying he's sharing something
Yeah,
with you.
yeah, he shared something with me. Oh, look at that. Shadow painting.
Whoa! What in the world?
I live! Freedom!
Hey, get back here! Catch me if you can! This is ridiculous.
That is that's pretty cool.
That is kind of funny.
Yeah, yay, I live.
Get back here.
Yeah. So now when I did my research the other night on orcas, it turns out they have like black eyes. So the eyes will just be little black dots, put in there. But I could do some other stuff too, because sometimes where the white comes up at the tail, there'll be like just a little round thing, that, just the white will just come up a little bit. I mean, no two orca are the same. They're like tigers, It's like no two are exactly the same. But so, yeah, let's see if I did this right. So this is what I'm talking about. Right behind the back, how it just kind of bumps up a little bit. And I think one of the good things about painting these orca too is you don't have to worry about being perfectly like bilaterally correct, because they're not in nature. I mean, there's a lot of variation with their markings. So, and just think, the beloved orca at one time, according to some people, and it could be true, was basically a wolf-like creature that ran around on land killing things, and then at some point decided to kind of become, hunt in the water, and just over a multitude of time eventually adapted to a more aquatic life until it become maybe not necessarily an orca first, but until it become, a dolphin. So now, do I know if this is true? No. I don't know if that's 100% true, but I have, seen some people try to explain that. And even though I'm not like a huge fan of the idea of evolution as it's taught, that's really not evolution. That's just a creature adapting to its environment over a very long period of time. And here's my stickler with evolution. Whatever the orca used to be, it still is. It's just now better suited for a different niche. You see what I mean? In life, it decided running things down on land sucked, and over time it went back to the ocean. The part of evolution I don't like is the part where like one completely different genus of animal becomes another genus of animal, because that's just not something you ever observe. That's
Not to
just
mention,
like,
yeah, it never explains how life got here in the first place. It just
Yeah,
like
but I
it's
mean,
just like
even if you ignore that part, it's the idea that a fish will one day become a bird. It's like,
no.
yeah, I don't see that happening. I mean, statistically, I mean, it just doesn't seem probable, but it could be. I mean, one day we might find out that yeah, all that shit's 100% real, but my brain just has a hard time accepting it. I'm just like, mm. But I do know that a bird can turn into a different kind of bird. And that different kind of bird could be drastically different than the original bird. So, like, you could start out with a bird and have that bird say, I'm going to stop flying and get really fucking big and start running around eating cave slots
Oh, we lost
and
James
shit.
again.
And that's perfectly.
There he goes. Are you back?
Oh, I was just talking about birds.
I know you cut out again.
And I was saying how a seagull becoming something like this is completely 100% a rational thing. It's a much different looking animal, but at the end of the day, it's a fucking bird. It just adapted to run around and eat cave bears and shit, right? So I think that's just, I don't know, maybe it's just pedanticism or something like that. But yeah, in my mind, changing to suit your environment, 100% I believe that. 100%. With all of my heart, I believe that happens. But just becoming a thing from nothing, yeah, no. While I'm not saying it's not 100% of a fact, my brain has a hard time dealing with it because I'm just like, maybe I'm just stupid. I don't know. Bird is the word. Bird. You know what's funny is there was a game a long time ago, back when dice didn't suck. Battlefield Vietnam, and if you were playing on some battles like Battle Hue or whatever it was, if you ran and you jumped into like one of the little Jeep type vehicles they had there that had the 50 cal mounted on the back, while you were driving it around, you would hear the bird is the word playing like out of the radio. And then if you weren't in a vehicle and you're running around the city, you would hear they actually had recordings of Hanoi Jane. Like there was one of the points you fought over that was the radio station. And if the VC owned the radio station, it would broadcast Hanoi Jane throughout the whole battle. So you'd be running around and you'd hear, they will give you a medal, GI, but only after you are dead and stuff like that. I mean, it was pretty crazy, man. And of course, as soon as you jumped in a Huey, you know what song they played.
Fortunate son.
Yeah, Fortunate Son, because I think that's like a law now. Like you're legally not allowed to like make a Vietnam movie without having Fortunate Son in it.
Yeah, it seems like it now.
I don't know how that happened. And another one that was crazy though is if you controlled the radio station at the Battle of Hue or whatever it was, by you, I mean if you were playing the US side and you controlled the radio station, it played White Rabbit by Jefferson Airplane. So you'd be running around and you'd hear that bum, 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 one pill makes you larger and one pill makes you small. They used music in that game to really amp up like the
ambience
or something. I think that might have been the only game they really did that to. Of all the Battlefield games. Battlefield Vietnam. It had some interesting stuff in it. Like if you were playing a Vietnamese or NVA engineer, you had a one-time use until you got, reloaded up tunnel. And that was basically you could run around a map and find like a really hidden place in the bushes and put the tunnel down. And then anyone on your team could spawn from that tunnel until somebody found the tunnel and destroyed it. That was such a powerful ability, because you could literally be right outside of the American, position and have your whole team spawning in like right there, And
That sounds very powerful.
it was a
Like
good
little bit
ability.
overpowered.
And then, of course, if you played the sniper, if you were playing the VC, if you're playing the sniper, you could throw down a punji pit. So if you put yourself in a position that only had one way really to get to you, you could throw a pit down. And people wouldn't see it until they ran into it and it killed them. And if you're playing the American side, it was the same thing, but you put a claymore down. So you could be like up on a hillside with your M24, which is basically an M14 with a scope on it, and throw your claymore down. Somebody tried to sneak up, and when you heard the ba-boom, at which point, it's time to scoot on out of there, because they even had one map that was like based on Oyster 1, which was the Chuck Yeager Vietnam battle he was in, where like the game would start and you would run to the hangar, and if you were playing the VC side, there'd be like a MiG-19 and a MiG-21. And if you're playing the American side, it'd be like F4s. The pity party continues. What are you talking about, Mobius? Nobody's
I put up
having
a
pity
video
parties.
of my mood, and clearly he watched it, and he's the guy who downvoted it, and he's just being a cunt now. So go fuck yourself, hey Mobius. Hey, you're a piece of shit. That's all I think about you.
Mobius, you're Canadian. You should learn to be nice. You're letting your whole country down. So there he is. I think that I'm going to put the gloss on him, because I want him to look like he just jumped out of the ocean and he's getting ready to run you down and eat you. But yeah, so I'm going to gloss coat him with my Games Workshop technical hard coat and let him dry. It takes about 12 hours for that stuff to really solidify. And then, yeah, he'll look like he's a wet orca running around. And I figure, like, if I grab one of my figures, it's like human size, say this Roman soldier, right? He's probably about 5'6", because Romans weren't known to be, super tall. But if I lay him down alongside this thing and I just measure the length, this thing's like 25 feet long. Not as big as a real life orca could get, because I think some of them get like 30 plus, but feet long. So for you like communists, that would be like 10 meters or so. And I'm joking. I don't think you're communist. So yeah, I mean, it's a big bastard, really. Can you imagine being some poor Eskimo or Inuit or whatever your tribe is? And because they believe that's where this comes from, is their mythology, right? The people who live up in the top of the world, right? And you're out there like trying to catch a seal or something for dinner, and something like this comes whipping out of the ocean and comes after you, man. Like just comes up on the ice and is like, rawr! Yeah, it'd be like, yeah. I would just jump head first into its mouth, hoping that I'd die extra fast so that I wouldn't suffer, Because if you run, and it runs you down, it might jump you and then start devouring you from like the legs up. And yeah, sure. I mean, you're going to feel all of it because the weather's so cold, you won't even bleed out, really, you know? You'll just have to deal with it while this thing is eating you alive. And why I think about stuff like this, I don't know. It's probably a problem that I need to like get looked into, but yeah, Mobius, very disappointing, sir, to just show up and take a crack at somebody. I mean, I like you, you know, I like you, but you act sometimes the way you act is like passive aggressive, and as if Bear like banged your wife or your mom or something. It's like, come on, man, come on, straighten up in every sense of the word. Straighten up. You know, if you want to send Bear some private messages and call him a whatever, you guys, a hoser or whatever, I mean, you guys have it out, but you know, be cool. Most couldn't swim. They say after the struggle, drowning is peaceful. I bet. I bet. I know I watched that show that where that white dude named Chip is married to like her tribe starts with K.
Sorry, James. Hey, let me say, why don't you just finally tell me what the fuck I did to you that you make me your fucking passion project for your pity and your misery and your disgustingness, that you follow me around and downvote videos and make snarky comments? What did I do to you? I would love to know what the action I took that made me deserve this level of your investment in life, because I can't figure it out. So please tell me.
Yeah. And I mean, if you want to talk about it here, you can, or if you want to be private about whatever Bear did to piss you off, understand. But I mean, yeah, I mean, you guys don't even live near each other, so it's not like you could have stolen your bike or something. Plus, I mean, I not the stereotype, but I'm pretty sure you guys don't steal bikes anyway, right? And who the hell in Canada owns a bike? Imagine trying to ride a bike in Saskatchewan. Shit. I just honestly, Mobius, I just want there to be peace. Peace between the bros. You know what I mean? So whatever you guys are beefing about, I want the beef squashed. Not just on my channel, everywhere. And I want the tomahawk buried and all the other words for, you know, putting shit behind and, you know, just being civil and being gentlemen. Right? I mean, if I can make peace with Shadow, I'm sure you can make peace with Bear. That's half of a troll there. Right now, Shadow's being like, what the fuck did I do to him? Like nothing. But I just felt like including Shadow in this, you know. I mean, he's one of the bros, so you know. I can't leave him out, you know what I mean? I gotta involve him. But yeah. I'll tell you what, man, I am learning so much about life hanging out with all you guys. And I know it's ignorant, stupid, American jingoistic kind of stuff, which I love. But I was one of those idiots that honestly thought all Canadians were just super nice. I mean, I've only been to Windsor twice, 3 times maybe. And every time I went, of course, that was back in the 80s. I mean, I was like, God, I love Canada. These guys are just so fucking nice. And then I get on here with a bunch of gamers and they are just fucking hating each other, man. You know, between 28 millimeter and all this shit, everybody just fucking hating everybody. And it's like, man, I miss the good old days when you guys were like the good guys and everybody loved you and we were the assholes. I think you guys have been hanging out around us too much because now we're just both the assholes. You know what I mean? But like Bear asked you, and I know he's really quiet. Well, yeah, I do know that. Don't cross you. But if you didn't hear Bear, he has no idea what he did that has inflamed your passions to the point that you're downvoting everything he does and you know, being away. So think about that. If the person you're super mad about doesn't even know what they did, then it sounds to me like some people need to have a chat. And like I said, not necessarily in public on this channel in front of everybody, you know, but at some point it might be good for you. I know you can say whatever and what, you know, but look, it's my nature to be a peacemaker. It really is. Like, it's almost like in Dazed and Confused or whatever, you know, it's like, look, man, the herd does not like to be disrupted. And I'm kind of like that. Like, we got our little crew here, and I don't like when there's friction. Not when it's serious. I mean, if you want to say, Bear, you like this game and I hate it, you know, if he hadn't deleted his channel.
That's horseshit, and you know it, you lying sack of shit. You were the
Well,
one who
hold on
started
now.
this. No, he started this, and then when I reacted, that became fuel for me being in the wrong. So fuck you. I don't want to
I'm
make
not
peace with you.
saying you're
Fuck
wrong, Bear.
off. Stay out of my life. I don't follow you around. I don't look for you. I don't go find your shit. So why you got to haunt me? That's about you, brother. That ain't about me. That's your shit. And I'm tired of dealing with your shit. So leave me the fuck alone, please. And I'll leave you the fuck alone, as I've continued to do for the longest fucking time. But if you keep coming at me, you keep talking shit at me, I'm not going to sit here and be your little fucking kicking stick because you're unhappy with how your fucking life turned out, prick.
Wow. Okay.
So here's how it started as far as I remember. James, just so you know, 28mm made a video talking shit about me because he fucking misunderstood something and didn't listen to what Max Boivin told him. And then this asshole goes on in his comments and goes, yeah, well, Bear's a fucking control freak. So I banned him from my fucking channel. Because if you're going to talk shit about me in someone else's channel in a community where we all talk to each other, you're going to get called out on it. And ever since then, he's been a little bitch about it. So clearly banning him from my channel was the greatest insult in life that ever fucking happened to this guy. What a sheltered fucking life he's led if that's the worst thing that's happened to him. So fuck him. I don't want to make peace with him. I don't want to know him. I want nothing to do with this fucking guy. But he can't leave me alone. It's like he's obsessed with me or something. He needs fucking therapy.
Really? That's weird because we all know from the highest of authority that actually Shadow is the control freak. At least that's what Shauner said. May he rest in peace.
Now, if I did something else, I'd love to know what it was I did. But as far as I know, that's how this all started.
That is a strange thing for either of you to get ultra pissy about. But I mean, hey, man, this you guys can do you, man. Do you. I like you both. You know that. Bear, you're like the Northern Appalachian cousin I never had.
I don't fucking deal with him. He shows up on one of my live streams, starts talking shit in the chat about me, and all the people are like, who the fuck's this guy? What's going on? Like, this is my point.
And like I said, maybe you guys should just work shit out. It'd be easier for everyone.
I don't want to work shit out with him at this point. I'm done.
No, you always got to give peace a chance, man.
I'm done. You understand?
Hey, I'm not going to fight with you, too.
I know. I'm just telling you, I'm done with them.
I just think that both of you, and I'm not saying you're wrong at all, so don't take it that way. But at some point,
know what you're doing. I'm not taking it that way, James. We're fine. You and I are fine. I know what's going on. I know what you're doing. It's all good, and I appreciate you for it, brother.
Yeah, I'm just saying sometimes it's good to be the bigger guy. Be like, hey. I mean, Lord knows I do all the time because I fuck up all the time. So I'm always.
Yeah, and sometimes, you know, you just got to say fuck it. It's not worth the headache anymore.
Yeah, I guess so.
You know, I'm not fucking.
I mean,
over
no
to his
judgment
world.
here. No judgment here.
He has no reason to ever fucking come to my channel and watch my shit. You don't like me? Good. Ignore me. Seems pretty fucking straightforward, right?
That's what I do. Not
Yeah.
ignore you, but if I don't like somebody's
I know what you're
channel,
saying.
I just.
I know. I hear you. Seems like
I
a
mean,
basic-
assuming I remember their channel even exists, if I don't like it, I just don't go.
But instead,
I'm completely done with you, Haas.
No, I've never.
That's
been
who
done
I'm
with Hungar.
done with.
Hungar, I wish I could quit you.
Always like never joining my channel and sleeping all day and trying to die and shit. I'm pissed. You need to stop all of that. You need to start joining the channel, not sleeping all day, and stop trying to die. Because, I mean, this shit's stressing me out. You need to think about me and my feelings. Like how I feel about this. You might be okay with you dying, but I'm not okay with it. So straighten the fuck up, Haas, in every sense of the word. See, I'm being funny there. I'm just trying to, You weren't on yesterday, or were you? See, this is a thing. He could tell me he was on, and I'd be like, was he? I don't remember. I can go look, though. So you better not be lying. Because Mom said if you lie, you go to hell. Well, Mobius, if he did something and it bothered you, then like Bear said, just agree to disagree and leave. Everybody leaves everybody alone. You know what I mean? Think about my needs. That's how I am. Like I'll do something really nice for my wife and she'll be like, oh, that's so nice. And I'd be like, well, actually, I did it because of and I'll name the ways I'm going to benefit from it. And she's like, and I'm like, babe, I am a selfish prick. You know that. I mean, if I'm doing some stuff, it's because I'm thinking, oh yeah, this is going to benefit me in the future somehow, right? Weirdly, I'm only that way with chicks though. So. And when I'm guilting my brother. Yeah. In other news, aside from the fact that Hyperborea rocks, I was looking at my miniatures up there, and it turns out that I have enough Norman soldiers to make an entirely Norman warband for Baron's War.
We'll come on for a few minutes. I'm getting ready to make dinner.
Hey, Hungar, my dinner's almost ready. Steaks.
I'm making homemade French fries and chicken sandwiches.
I don't know what we're having. Probably the wife made meatloaf the other day, so I'm probably going to have a meatloaf sandwich.
You're like me, because when I do nice things for my old lady, she's like, that's so nice of you. And I was like, I only did it so you'd shut up, baby.
I don't say that. I'd get murdered in my sleep for that. Do you know T Dizzle and I have freaking played Splendor 6 games and tied 5.
Right.
Isn't that like crazy?
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like WTF, man. What's going on here?
Somebody hit our mailboxes last night.
Harn.
It was like,
Yeah. I think Hungar just don't make videos anymore.
I went out to have a cup of coffee this morning with my neighbor, looked over, and our mailboxes were laying on the side.
Did somebody hit them, or did just the wind blow them over?
Somebody hit them.
That happened to mine too, and I'm pretty sure I know who hit it.
Took out the whole bank.
And he plays in my game, and I'm like, I don't want to call him out.
Does his
Plus
name
he's
start with a
blind.
J?
No. Plus he's blind.
Oh,
So I'm like, man. I woke up and my mailbox was freaking smacked. And I was like, yeah.
Squirrel,
could see
I
the
have scalloped
timeline.
potatoes at least once a week.
Been forever since I had scalloped. Me too. And I love scalloped potatoes.
You know, and I figured out now that I'm an adult and I live by myself, I can cook whatever I want to eat.
Like if you want to go to the store and buy a whole fucking cheesecake and just
eat
sit
it,
down
I
and
can.
eat it, you could. Yeah.
I have grown up money and shit.
Like, and nobody could tell you anything, right? And if they were like, damn, that you're eating a lot of cheesecake, you could be like, it's just one piece. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I mean, assuming it's not sliced.
Like I have a bottle of Diet Dr. Pepper a day. It's a 2-liter bottle, but still, it's just one bottle.
And only because they don't sell them in 3 or 4 liters.
Exactly. You know why I drink so much Diet Dr. Pepper?
Because it will cure you from radiation poisoning is the rumor I heard in Fallout, I think it
Because
was.
my body does not make it itself.
Or
Well,
maybe
I gotta
it was,
go. I'll see ya.
I see it.
Later, Timmy.
Maybe it was after the bomb or whatever. One of those old role-playing games had like this rule where if you got like a lot of radiation poisoning, but you managed to drink a couple bottles of Dr. Pepper, it would fix you up.
Casey Kasem did a commercial talking about how warm Diet Dr. Pepper during the wintertime is the drink for you. You heat your Dr. Pepper until it's nice and steamy and then pour it over a slice of lemon.
I mean, I know of people who like will cook barbecue with a whole damn bottle of Coke in it.
Yeah. My neighbor, he made a ham this year for Thanksgiving, and it was Dr. Pepper glazed. So you know I loved it.
Yeah, see, I hate when somebody makes like a meat dish and the meat is sweet. I'm not a fan of that. I like if I'm eating a ham, I want a Black Forest ham. I want that shit to be so salty I can feel my blood coagulating.
Like, regardless.
I don't want any pineapple or fucking brown sugar on it.
Bear, I'm sending you a virtual hug, dude. You seem upset about something.
Well,
Be kindly, Hungar. It's all good. Not here to talk about it. Just here to chill out and calm down.
Well, I love you, buddy.
Right back.
Did you see those cat reels I sent you on Instagram?
Shut up.
You sent them on Instagram. You sent them on Facebook for some reason. When I go to Insta, there's nothing there, but it shows up on Facebook. You are a technological wonder.
Ha
But yes, I saw them. Thank you. They're very cute.
I found out
You guys back
something
already?
today that I never knew, by the way, guys. I like when I find things out that I didn't know. The reason anime characters look the way they do is because they're all based on cats.
Yeah. You
Like
didn't know
when the
that?
Japanese started drawing anime everything back in the day, like the side profile and everything, 100%, they took the profile of a cat and then made it as human as possible while still looking like a cat.
I could have told you that.
I didn't know that, but apparently because they figured that that would make them cute because, you know, kittens are cute. Everybody loves kittens. I mean, who doesn't like kittens, right? So their whole deal was to make their anime characters basically human kittens. Now, not all anime, but like the really like chibi kind of whatever anime. Like, yeah, don't go watching Berserk thinking you're going to see cats. That's not how
Hey,
that.
because kawaii is a real thing in Japan.
Yeah. If you start turning berserk on, you're not going to see anything cute.
Cuteness matters.
Yeah, not in berserk.
Nope.
No. In berserk, it's just like a giant fuck you right in your face from the beginning to the end. Yep, smoky and salty. And when I eat my barbecue squirrel hermit, I don't even put sauce on it. Like when Hungar visited last time, because occasionally he will visit me, we went out. I ordered a full rack of ribs, no sides, no nothing. I just wanted a whole rack of fucking ribs.
He did too.
And they're like, that'll be $30. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Bring me a rack of ribs, right? No barbecue sauce. I just sat there and ate a rack of ribs.
I like
And
that.
I like when I go out, I get the St. Louis dry rub ribs.
I like the smoky barbecue sauce on the side from Shoney's or Sonny's.
Yeah, I've seen people and they'll like take whatever they're eating and they'll put this sweet barbecue sauce all over it. And I'm just like, nope.
I like spicy.
I don't like anything but the flavor of a well-smoked barbecued chunk of pork. I don't need any of that other shit. Oh, yeah, that is true, Crafting Gamer. You did correct me there. Yeah, you'll see something that looks adorable, and then a demon will jump out of fucking weeds and bite its head off or something. Or, a demonic horse will throw it on the ground and try to stick its horse demon. Yeah, there's some scenes like that, too. And I'll tell you what, I know I'm a grown man. I've seen some horrible shit. When that crazy blonde bitch that was in the Order of the Chains almost got, graped by the demon horse. That was weird. I was sitting there like,
no, the goat demon with the snake.
Oh, the goat
dangler.
Demon with the snake for a thingy bob, and in order to be part of the cult, you had to kiss the snake. Plus, it was running Casca around trying to stick the snake in Casca.
Yeah.
Because they thought she was a witch or something. Turns out she's not a witch. She's just mentally traumatized to the point that she's fucking crazy. But I guess that would happen if the person you love the most decided it was going to be a good idea to.
It looks like he's frozen.
Yep.
Like turn into a demon and
It's Bear Stream now.
Oh, dear God, help us.
I really don't have anything to say. I was watching goofy ass 80s movies the other day.
Yeah. What'd you watch?
Watched Sword and Sorcerer.
Yeah, I like that one.
Oh, it was great. I know this is an anime, but not. Fire and Ice, which I love Fire and Ice, although there's one of the freaking Neanderthals type people that James always says looks like me, and it makes me feel a little self-conscious because James
one of the subhumans looks just like Haas when he was young. And every time we've ever watched that movie together, I've always been like, oh, here comes Haas. And then the subhuman, which is kind of a Neanderthal type thing, reaches its arm up a log and like some kind of giant freaking pill bug thing with claws like latches onto him. And he's running around all like, ah!
Why is it I knew when I was thinking of all of them, I was like, it's going to be the one that gets the bug on his arm.
And that's the one that looks like Haas when he was young.
Crazy.
Fuck you, Mount.
I I'm just trying to think about your brother being mean to you, brother. You don't have to give me shit.
You knew, right? If you ever seen my brother when he was young and you watch that movie, you're like, yep, there's us. It's fucking eerie, really. It's like, see, I didn't. The guy I looked at like when I was say 25 or 18 would have been the brother of the princess that Necron forces
I
to
look like a
fight.
fucking subhuman. You look like the badass warrior, and I look like a
No, he
subhuman.
wasn't a badass warrior. He's just an average dude with long, straight black hair. That's what I look like. You knew that. I wasn't sitting here trying to say, the one dude on the horse with the wolf mask or whatever. No, I look like one of the idiots that went there to talk to Necron and ended up being forced to stab each other. That's what I looked like back then. That's the closest. Because there was a time where I shaved. Well, actually, there was a time when I couldn't grow facial hair at all. And I had really straight black hair.
Yeah,
So
what
a lot
was
of
that
people
like?
thought I was Hispanic or maybe American Indian or something. Turns out,
What was it like not being able to grow facial hair? I don't know how that feels.
when I was in the Army, it was great because I only had to shave like every third day. So it was just one less thing to worry about. Whereas my homie Ferguson, he had to shave twice a day because that dude was a werewolf. That was our joke about him. We're like, you are a fucking werewolf. It's like,
And I had a mustache in middle school.
And you had a mustache in middle school. This dude was so hairy that his chest hair connected to his beard, and his beard went up to here. Like his hairline was just under his eyes.
He was a Neanderthal.
It was like, how'd that happen? Some weird genes, but okay. Well, he was from Connecticut, so maybe he needed all that hair to not freeze. Probably gets pretty cold in Connecticut, But anyway, yeah, Fire and Ice is awesome. One of the reasons I love Hyperborea is that a lot of Hyperborea reminds me of Fire and Ice and vice versa. But that makes sense since it was basically, that era where they were, doing good actual fantasy stuff. I mean, you had who? Bakshi and Frazetta, was that who did that one? I know it was Bakshi, but was it? I think it was Frazetta. The guy that used to do all the Conan paintings and stuff.
Yeah.
And in Hyperborea, there is a class called a cryomancer that actually has tons of spells to control ice and snow and stuff, right? So Necron, in theory, could be like a top tier max level cryomancer. And they can be evil. So you've got Necron living up in the freaking Arctic glaciers using his massive cryomancy power to just push the ice, and he's being served by a bunch of subhumans, which are actually a creature that lives in Hyperborea. Fucking subhumans. So, yeah, the entire movie, Fire and Ice, could have been put in the Hyperborea. It would fit seamlessly, including the fact that in Hyperborea, you can buy a pterodactyl to ride. So, like the Firehawks or whatever they called them from the Keep of Fire or whatever. Yeah, you could do that in Hyperborea. So, yeah. So, I mean, you would agree, right, Hungar? You can basically fucking play Fire and Ice scene for scene in Hyperborea.
Yeah.
And then I guess Necron's mom would be just a normal mage because apparently she couldn't really push the fucking ice, but she was some kind of sorceress. And then that other redheaded bitch who ended up getting burned Thank God I wasn't in that movie because that bitch would have ended up killing me for sure.
Yeah.
Because I'd have ran up on her and she'd walked out and started talking to me, and I'd been like, "Damn, look at that red hair and those big tits," and that'd been the end of
That would have been the end of you because
that'd
that
been
was
the end
all
of my
yeah.
character, boy. I'd just been over. It was like, fuck it, these redheads. When will I ever learn? Well, I learned finally, but yeah, every single thing in that cartoon is represented in the Hyperborea game. Everything. So, yeah, that's kind of cool.
Well, I'm gonna let you go home, Skillet.
What was the human's name? The main character.
Later, Hungar.
Yar or Dar or
Yeah, something like that.
Bear said something, but I didn't hear him because I'm being deaf.
I said later.
I'm gonna go cook because I'm getting hungry.
Go. I didn't hear you still, Bear, because when you tried to say,
I said later Hungar, and his name was Larn.
Okay. And Beastmaster, it's like Dar, right?
Correct.
Okay. All right. I mean, that satisfies my curiosity for the nonce.
Is Shadow getting in here or not?
He said he was going to join us at some point, but I mean,
It's clearly a liar.
I know, right? This guy. He's trying to get work done, though, so.
Yeah, I got a
hey,
big
Shadow.
Thanks. And Bear, thanks. That really freaking made my day. That was hysterical.
That was nice.
George gave me a couple of the pieces, and I've been just fucking around with them in Grok Imagine, trying to create some stuff I can clip for your opening when I get around to making it.
That's really cool, man.
Yeah.
My pleasure, man. My pleasure. You've been nothing but a mensch with me. I'm going to be nothing but a mensch with you.
Appreciate it. It means a lot.
Well,
in this world we find ourselves in, and a lot of us left. Well, a lot of you guys left. I don't know.
Yeah, right. Since you know,
yeah.
At the end of time, when the Earth shatters to 1 billion pieces and it's just asteroids floating through space, Shadow will be there, just floating, like
hanging on to one,
just
trying to grab another,
space,
put them back
like,
together.
Well, shit. I guess that's what happens when you're just invulnerable and immortal and
cursed by God.
Cursed. Yeah, it's like, let me ask you something. You wouldn't happen to have a spearhead hidden in a closet, would you?
Not a closet? No.
Are you the wandering Jew from the Bible?
Dude, have you seen this nose? Come on.
Hey, I don't know. I'm just wondering. I mean, there's a couple of people in the Bible that were like cursed with eternal life. I'm just wondering which one.
Back in high school, I think my freshman year, I walk into my math class for freaking retards, right? And there's this girl, and she comes up to me.
What's that for retards like?
It's fun, man. You get to wear the helmet. You get to, go cut to the front of the line. And this girl comes up to me, kind of cute, kind of mousy, kind of, I didn't know shit, right? And this wasn't like the first day, so she knew my name, and she's like, hey, are you Jewish? And I'm like, what? And she's like, yeah, well, with your last name and your nose and, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no. I didn't want to tell her my dad's like pretty much a card carrying Nazi. Not really, more of a sympathizer than a Nazi. I don't think they'd let him in.
They don't generally let Jews in.
Well, no, there's none of that.
So mean.
And she was kind of cute. I started, thinking, I could, maybe, whatever. It never happened though. But she ended up being the bass player for the Bell Jar. You guys ever heard of that? No. It was a little band. They recorded like an album, and then like right after I like tried to make my move on her, I found out she had a boyfriend but this was at my birthday party. We had this huge birthday party on the beach, and all my friends were working at this liquor store, so they were stealing alcohol, like hard liquor. They had 2 giant freaking uh, coolers full of freaking whiskey and vodka and shit. I was 14, mind you, gonna have my 15th birthday party. So we're down at the beach, getting loaded and having a good old time. A couple days later, she's riding her bike with her boyfriend and gets hit from behind and splattered all over the road.
Wow. Anastasia Moskovich.
Yeah, that was her.
Yeah, I didn't care for that story. I mean, it started cool, but it kind of ended.
Yeah, just goes to tell you not everything ends with the joke,
Yeah.
But yeah, she was
and that's not cool because, as you know, my favorite character in Watchmen is the comedian.
I understand.
So everything is a joke, but you just fucked it all up.
Because I don't follow that philosophy. Speaking of which, my favorite movie, I did the top 10 thing, and a lot of people are enjoying it, and that was the point. Not to like, oh, look at what I like, but like, look what you like.
I would just do what I'm going to do with the role playing, where I just put Hyperborea 10 times. I'll put Event Horizon 10 times.
That's a great freaking movie. It did make my list, but I don't own it, and I've only seen it like 1.5 times. But it's on my eBay list.
Yeah.
But everybody's having a lot of fun with this, and I'm really loving the sort of camaraderie, and it was Bloodworth's idea. He got the ball rolling, so give him the credit. But
it's interesting, and I've really been the reason I haven't done my top 10 role playing games is because there's so many games.
I know.
And it's like I said, 1, 2, 3 are pretty easy, but the lower down it gets, the harder it gets.
Well, that's why it's nice to have it just a simple 10. Bo, I think only did like a 3 or a 5 count, but that's
but my number 10 could be 10 games. There's like 10 games that should be number 10, and if I pick one of the 10, I'm going to feel like the other 9 I'm being disrespectful because I love them too.
That's why I did honorable mentions.
My honorable mentions would be 20 pages.
Right, Miguel and Sylvia we're doing their top 10 movies because that's the next one, right?
Right.
And they said it would be easier to make their top 100, and they were cheating because they got 2 of them, a guy and a girl, so they get to put 20 movies, and they're married, so and then Married with Gaming did theirs, which oh my god, those 2 couples are freaking, and you too, James, I guess, because your wife's into it. I haven't met a role playing gamer female that I could, even tolerate going out to dinner with, let alone met in 30 years or more. Just, I mean, and not any of the people I've met recently, not like say anything bad about them, but in real life, it's just like if they do, I guarantee they have a system.
I definitely lucked out when I met my wife.
You guys are incredibly lucky. You have no idea. My wife, to this day, after 5, almost 6 years of doing YouTube, she has no idea what we're talking about. She doesn't get it. It's like, why are I told her
the 2 women I married, they literally thought that role playing or wargaming and all that was just fucking lame and gay.
She hasn't said that, but like I told her the other day, I made a video that
could like, to F me up anytime I wanted to pursue my hobby.
She doesn't do that.
Start painting. Oh, the Latina was the worst because it was like she could smell it. Like the second I'd go,
it's like when you turn on the PlayStation and makes that noise. They come running in. What are you doing?
Yeah, I'd sit down in the hobby room, and the second I picked the paintbrush up, that bitch would be at the door, being like, "You want to come sit on the couch with me and watch TV?" And if I didn't, then I'm the dick. You see, because my wife wanted to hang out and watch TV, right? So I'd be like, "Okay, fine." And she did that like every fucking time. And you know what her idea of watching TV was? Dawson's Creek. So I'm sitting there,
That's
and
a
in my
TV show?
mind, I'm
I'm
thinking
sorry,
about
I've never
all
heard of
those
it.
unpainted fucking space marines sitting on the desk, and I'm watching these fucking jerks cry because they can't figure out which one of them's going to fuck the black-haired girl, the brunette or whatever. And I'm just like,
No
and
idea.
I'd tell her, I'd be like, that blonde dude, is all he do is cry? Like, I don't even fucking get this. But you know, I wasn't having to deal with
What's up, Daniel?
the angry game nerds problem at
Flynn.
the time. So
Sorry. OJ Flynn. They're probably not fond of the first part. You know, I made this video a couple, I forget which one it was, had like almost 500 views, and my wife looks at me and was like, what do you have to say that 500 people want to listen to for so long? I'm just like, you'll never get it. You'll never get it. I know, right? I mean, she didn't mean it like to be mean. She's like literally like surprised that I have any, you know, words to say, you know, that are, you know, even remotely, even in the neighborhood, you know, off in the distance of profound, or you know, worth listening to. It's just like,
my
you'll never get it.
highest
You'll never get it.
video,
It's that to us part, because when we get up to the pearly gates, she's going to go one way, I'm going to go the other, and she's never going to think about me again. And I'll be like, you missed out, woman. You missed out.
You'll be in Protestant heaven. She'll be in Catholic heaven with all
he's
the
gonna be
Irish
in
and
proper
Mexicans.
hell.
Yeah, well, I wasn't going to go there, but yeah.
You know,
They're gonna be like, "Welcome back, good work."
good work.
Seriously, all we're wrong.
Look, we all know you're not actually going to die. You're just setting it up so that when you need to fake your death and then reinvent,
right?
He's just waiting for life on Earth to be exterminated, so he can go into space and be the ultimate hipster, telling all these aliens about these things from Earth they had never heard of.
Yeah,
because Earth is gone and been gone.
Yeah, who like you ever heard of mac and cheese? Pretty fucking good.
Mac and cheese last night
on Earth all the time.
I had some mac and cheese last night.
Okay, that made me laugh. Well done, James. That made me laugh.
What I was trying to say, though, is the highest viewed video on my entire channel, I do not say a word in. It's Bear talking, and I'm just sitting there listening to him. That fucking video's got 2,000 something views.
What video is that?
It's the one we made literally a day ago where you're talking about Southerners versus feminism.
What?
Can't imagine why that's got so many views.
Remember when you said, hey, sweetie, don't put the bread in first? And the girl gave you the issue, and you're like, okay, I'll call you a bitch then, right?
Yeah, I got a
bone to pick. I clipped that. It automatically, Restream will clip like the best things it thinks would make good little shorts.
Yeah.
So I didn't even know what it exactly was. The short, it said this one 90-something%. So I said, sure, post it as a short, this clip, right? Fucking 2 days later, 2,000 something views.
I am forever.
Got a bone to pick with you. That one on the ritual of identify. You cut out the nastiest, meanest, most prohibitive part.
I didn't cut anything out.
Well,
the program does it.
It cut out the worst part. You know how you literally can't really use identify spell because it's been made impossible.
Do you know how I handled that shit? You go to town, like in Pool of Radiance, and you go to the wizard and you pay him 200 gold, and he tells you what the fuck it is.
Yeah,
because after what you're talking about, I was like, no, fuck that. We'll just do what they do in the game.
Well, Might and Magic had the same kind of thing. I think we used because I was talking about it the other day. Nobody ever used any of the freaking requirements, let alone the freaking spell components. It was just like, you got it. Okay, cool. Roll some percentile. Okay, you got it. You know.
Well, I mean, if you're whining about thinking mages are fucked, imagine if your DM was like, "Oh no, I'm enforcing the physical component shit, 100%," and you're like, "I need to cast a fireball," and he's like, "You got bat guano?"
I know, right?
Let's
of all the
things, write it on your character.
Spider climb, you ready to eat munch on that little spider? Here you go. I found you.
I mean, if you don't got the bat guano written on your character sheet, then obviously you don't have it. So you will not be casting fireball, even though you memorized it. Doesn't fucking matter. You ain't got the bat guano.
I mean, I could totally get how in the right game it would be awesome to do all that. But when you've got like 5, 6, hey, what's up, Doc? Needs a link. It it was pretty high up, so I could see how it got covered.
Yeah.
It could be really fun to do that. All that kind of Harry Potter kind of game. But you got 6, 7 players. It's just just
No, see, here's what you do. And I just made this up right now.
hey, Doc.
Hey, Doc.
Hey, what's up?
So
Wait
this
for
is
your video,
right
man.
off the top of my dome here. If you think using physical components would be like fun and add to the game, then what you do is you make it where if the mage uses a physical component, they get a bonus for the spell, but they can still cast the spell without the physical component. You see what I mean?
Okay, that's
So like he's casting a fireball.
that could be
got
a
that
way
on
to do it.
so it's
It
a
wouldn't
plus
suck.
damage. Or it's a little harder for people to save against. So that a way, the mage might actually want to go looking for bat shit in a cave, since that's what that is. And but if he ain't got it, he can still hang.
That's actually pretty insightful there, James.
That's actually brilliant, isn't it? That's why my
No,
players.
I'm not going to go that far. 'Cause your ego's already hyperinflated.
It's too late. James has declared himself brilliant.
Like I said,
think
that's
he's
why
back
my
in.
players
Credit
think
where
I
credit
am
is
the
due.
greatest DM ever.
I don't know about that.
You don't know about, but I do because my players tell me.
Well, yeah, but my players tell me the same thing.
It's like your mom telling you you're handsome.
Well,
It's like an obligation.
That's fucked up.
That's messed up, Doc, because my mom did say I was handsome.
See?
You know what though? You know
But
what's
I knew
worse though?
better.
You know what's worse than that?
Your dad telling you,
No, I was going to say your uncle.
your uncle and dad telling you you're nice looking. I mean,
You sure are handsome.
you got a pretty mouth.
Oh fuck! I knew you were going to say that.
Of course you did. It had to happen. It had to.
Well, no, it didn't. The guy could have kept his fucking pants on and been, not a freaking degenerate, but it was the South, and
Yeah, that's the real South too. That's like
don't
Georgia or some
say
shit
that.
like that.
Please don't say that. You're gonna get all kinds of hate saying, that's not the real South. The whole South isn't like that.
No. The real Florida is not the real South. We're kind of the South.
Yeah.
And the
Right,
further
Clint.
south you
We're
go in
south
Florida,
adjacent.
the less south we get. But Georgia, you get out in the sticks of Georgia, that is the real fucking old timey South right there. Alabama, Mississippi. I mean, that's the real South.
Yeah.
I mean,
I remember passing through a
South
place
Carolina,
in Georgia
North Carolina.
called
But then
Possum
once you
Kingdom.
get to like Tennessee and Kentucky, it stops necessarily being the South and it becomes hillbillies,
That could work too, Paul.
which I guess are technically the South, but totally different.
Hey, whoa! Hold on, Paul. You got to have one of the three as mandatory. Otherwise, I mean, you can't just. Otherwise, you're using psionics. You got to start with like saying it. Then the freaking wiggly fingers thing is the next level, and then the components would be like level 2 because you got to have something.
Well, he's saying that's how he would do it, and that's 100% fine in his game. Me personally,
why would verbal give you a bonus? Verbal should just let you do it. Then somatic the bonus, and then material the better bonus.
yeah, no. What he's actually saying, you're looking at backwards, is that you could cast all these spells without verbal and somatic components or physical components. See, I wouldn't go that far because I like the idea that if you punch a wizard in the head and tie him up, you can't cast spells.
I'm
Like
gonna,
throw a
I'm
ball
gonna
gag
write
in
Shadow
his
a
fucking
new,
mouth and he's done, right?
I'm gonna write Shadow a new character class called a Danceomancer. Yeah, all their spell casting is done through interpretive dance.
Right. I mean, which is why in
I
like
think I knew a
third
chick like that
edition
back in the day.
D&D, you could like get like boons or whatever that made it where you didn't have to use
I'm
somatic.
telling you, she shook her ass and cast a spell.
You
on
had
me.
like
That's-
silent casting, still casting.
Yeah, that's
all
what
that.
I do in my game. There's like you have to do all that stuff. There's penalties for not doing it, but there's certain like
quirks you can take that bypass that, and also have like a metal thing. The more metal you have on you, the more fucks with your spells to keep them from using
see,
armor.
The what?
You can get away
I was
with
going to say
carrying a
the
weapon.
more metal you are, the better.
Yeah, dude, fucking A.
Like you run up and you're like, yeah, you know, start like all of a sudden in the background, King Diamond comes on. You're just like,
Feel the wrath of my fusion licks.
you know, that'd be a cool bard, right? Like, can you imagine like Swishgar Squiggle from like Death Clock as a bard? He's just a big goofy Swede, just like
You know, I
shred.
played. I had a 1E bard character, and my game master gave me a super powerful magic item that I refused to use because I just found it was this like enchanted Stratocaster.
Oh,
He was
geez.
like so enamored of, but it just was so like, it just killed the mood for me so much. I refused to use it. No.
See, and you know you
I actually handed out a miniature Fender with a built-in little mini speaker to a Hobbit bard last Sunday. Armstrong's character, he was like super jazzed. But my game's like more, you know, it's all Gonzo and fucking anything.
Oh my goodness.
Wasn't weird at all. Because I used to know this guy named Jerry. I don't think it was a Fender Stratocaster, but he had this really cool. It was a Les Paul copy. It's a really cool white and black guitar, and excuse me, had a built-in speaker. You know, so he could like walk around and play it. I forget what, you know, who made it or whatever, but it was actually really kind of cool at parties and stuff. He could walk around and just, you know.
Oh, I always hated that guy at parties. And that guy was like my best friend.
Well,
But
it's a
like,
big
look,
difference
I'm trying
between
to
the guy.
pull a chick, and you're over here playing guitar all good and shit.
Yeah, there's a
It's
big
like, how am I
difference
competing
between.
with that? You know?
Well, like I said, there's a
That
big
time you
difference
go
between the guy
Animal
at the
Yeah, I
farm
was just thinking Animal House
party
too.
with an
I
acoustic
gave
guitar.
my love a chicken.
Yeah. He's sitting around the campfire out in the bush playing fucking NXS. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
as a result, though, he got laid a lot in high school.
I think that's why he picked the guitar.
Yeah, bitches like guitars.
Because he picked the tuba or you know, the trombone, nothing.
Now, I don't remember who posted this, but I watched it last night, and I was so impressed. And I can't remember any details, but the name of the song, "Harden My Heart."
Yeah, of
Or-
course.
Oh my god, that
I was
shit
just talking about that the other day.
How did they not become like?
That's Quarter Flash. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Quarter
that's what I
Flash,
said.
yes,
I saw them. I saw them on the show Fridays where Andy Kaufman lost his shit. I was in the audience that day, and the musical guest that day was Quarter Flash, and it was one of the best
I
days
mean,
of high
hot
school.
chick can sing amazing, play
Mhm.
sax. It's like, what the fuck happened there? I mean,
Well,
that
Joan
should
Jett
have
just
been
said it
like-
recently in a video I watched of her, where she said she basically got the word that women weren't allowed in rock and roll, which I find preposterous.
Yeah, but that's what was going on at the time.
I know, but it makes no sense. You know.
Yeah, that's gay
And retarded.
and retarded. Yeah,
It's
lame
gay
too.
tarded.
Because it's like, first off, you never hardly ever see a chick getting down with a sax like that. And the
Actually,
saxophone is one of the badass instruments.
I knew this girl named Melody in high school. A little short
Of
Russian.
course, you
chick
knew
that I had-
somebody. I know, but
A
I'm
little
just
short
saying
hot
on TV.
Russian chick named Melody. I had the hugest crush on her, and then I found out she played the saxophone. And from that moment on, it was all over. No, it was
See?
actually middle school. I forgot that
Because
was
she
middle
played
school.
the sax.
Yeah, I'm missing a connection here.
Saxophones are one of the most amazing of all the instruments.
It used to
well-
be the lead instrument before the electric guitar.
So, what is the issue with her playing the sax that made you go limp?
Maybe what? Sorry.
Go limp. It was all over. You said.
Oh no! I all the other women in middle school meant nothing. I was just like,
Oh, okay, that makes more sense.
Oh, he's
Yeah,
saying,
yeah.
the fact that she could play sax was like,
I was a
Yeah.
big Billy Joel fan at the time. and any song of his that had saxophone in
And
it.
now he's your
Oh.
mortal enemy.
Yeah, we thought you were like, oh, I do not mix
I
with
know.
the brass section. Thank you very much.
It's woodwind or get the fuck out, bitch.
Right? It's like, but how is it woodwind when it's made out of brass? Don't ask questions.
Oh, we had a guy in basic training who was he was going into the army band. It was his MOS, and they used to fuck with him all the time. And one of the drill sergeants was smoking. And he was like, "Now tell me if this is true. This is just a rumor I heard. But in the band, there's an instrument called the skin flute. Do you play the skin flute, prior?" After that, he was skin flute. And it was fun because we're all standing in formation while this is going on, and it's like dead quiet. Then you just hear like, and then everybody is just dying, like trying to hold in this laughter. And the other two drill sergeants like are walking away with their heads down. They're laughing their asses off and don't want us to see.
Yeah, poor Jackie. He took up trumpet this year in high school,
You
and
know who this is, Shadow?
the shoveler.
It is the old man from Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Oh wow, that is a reference.
That was always hating on the dog. I've got the woman too. She's right here. She's got like the dogs next to her, and she's wearing her combat boots and everything.
That was a funny show.
It was, and actually, sometimes some of the episodes were pretty scary too. Breath control, Paul. Paul. It's like Paul is a
Well,
great
I mean, that's
guy,
where do you think the word Hummer
but
came
he and
from?
I am never going to agree on pizza because that shit they eat in Chicago, that's not pizza, that's lasagna. That's some kind of weird cheese casserole. Get the fuck out. But otherwise, he's a stand-up guy. He's a great guy, but
I told him
I accept Chicago pizza. It's a different thing, but it's basically
yeah, I accept it. I know it exists, and I've even eaten it, but it's not.
I could actually go for a deep dish pizza right now, but you can't
My
find one in
wife,
California to save your life.
He lived
isn't
in
like
Chicago,
90%
so,
dough. I mean, when you hear deep dish pizza, do you think, yeah, crust this thick, or do you think crust this thin and just freaking a mountain of toppings?
Yeah, what you're talking about is a pan pizza, but the West
I
Coast
think fuck
pizza-
all that. I like a big slice that's thin that I can fold, and I want it to have grease on top from the pepperoni that I can eat or tap off with like a paper towel. And yeah, I'm going to fold it in half. I'm going to eat it. And if I'm full by the time I get to the crust, I'll throw the crust in the garbage.
You give it to the dog.
But
All
if
the
I'm not full, then I'll eat the crust.
all the
Yeah,
time.
no, we've got Bear. We've
And
got
the only topping I
pan
like
pizza
on it is
and we've got
pepperoni.
supposed deep dish pizza at this place called BJ's. I know, right? And they're the fucking same thing. There's the
We had a
toppings on
BJ's, but
on a-
down here it's like a place you go to buy stuff in like bulk.
No, it's like a they got like 4,000 different kinds of beer and pizza.
Huh.
I when I drank it was fun, and now it's crap.
When like we've got one of those weird California pizzerias down here called Mellow Mushroom, and supposedly they use like
Paul
They
was joking. There's somewhere.
tavern cut thin crust. It's all in the spice of the sauce and the sausage. Yeah, me, it's New York.
I think I used it as the
style,
come
not
on
the
line
middle.
once.
But
New York style pizza.
yep. They supposedly got like California style pizza ovens, whatever the fuck that is, with real brick, stone, whatever. And they make like the stupidest pizza ever. It's like, thin crust pizza with calamari in the crust and fucking avocados. And I'm just sitting here like, what the fuck is wrong?
Yeah, ranch
So,
chicken
as
pizza.
I tried to say,
fucking-
but you guys are just choosing not to hear me, I guess.
What?
No, your
I
volume
spent
is
8
really
years.
low.
Your
Bear.
volume is
No,
so
that's
low.
not my
literally.
volume. That's my voice. Sorry. I
Okay.
apologize.
All right.
I've been struggling
Anyway.
all show.
All the fucking time I spent living on the West Coast, I never had good fucking pizza. West Coast pizza sucks.
It's an abomination.
But you gotta
Well, it's just
realize
weird
that
idea that they want to put
got to.
avocados on every fucking thing.
and nuts.
And it's like, I get it. You like
I
fucking
encountered a
avocados,
lot of
calm down.
walnuts on pizzas out in
I've
California.
never seen that in my life.
It might have been in San
Like you
Francisco.
adapt, you
Well,
learn how to live and eat it. You survive and go, okay, it's pizza. I'll fucking live. But man, you come back east and you have one slice of bargain basement corner shop pizza, and you're like, what the fuck have I been missing?
Sometimes simple is just the best. Sometimes a simple slice of New York cheese pizza, and it's never going to be better than that.
You know, West Coast food in general just sucks. Like, people in the West Coast don't eat for the love of food. They eat because they want other people to see them eating. You know what I
can
mean?
keep
Like, it's
dancing.
weird.
I'll watch. Oh, fine.
Yeah, come to think of it, when I was living out like in
Well,
Oakland,
wait
I
then.
can't remember being particularly thrilled with anything I ate out there or any like restaurants I went to. I usually when I go somewhere, there's something. Even though I was in freaking England, there were a couple like great places, like steakhouses and stuff. But like, yeah, when I think about when I was living in California, I was distinctly not impressed by any of the food.
And what's crazy is they love that hamburger joint they got. That place sucks.
Oh, that In-N-Out.
Yeah, they're always talking
Yeah,
about
they're
In-N-Out. In-N-Out fucking sucks.
They're bailing on them now.
Yeah, they're getting ready to move out, and that broke my wife's heart. That's her favorite burger place ever. And I'm like,
You know why it's her favorite burger place? Because she's never been to a Culver's.
Well, they don't have those out here.
Uh-huh.
Dude,
You need to
I'm
go
trying
get you
I'm
some
trying
good Wisconsin hamburgers with cheese curd and all that shit. It'll change your whole life.
as it
It'll
is.
change your
Nice
perspective on
chocolate
shit.
milkshake. Go ahead, Bear.
I just said it'll change your perspective on shit. It's a movie quote. Never mind.
Oh yeah, yeah. You can go get like a double butter burger, they call it, with like a side of onion rings and fucking a nice thick chocolate malted fucking diabetes machine. And I mean, you bite into that burger and you'll be like, oh my God, this is the best burger ever. And it will be.
There's a great place called Angels out in Palatka. That's it's one of the last stainless steel like railroad car diners in the country, and they make this amazing half-pound burger, and it's free if you can eat it.
Oh my God.
Half hour.
Yeah, my favorite burger is actually one made at home. So
yeah, it's like you eat that burger and immediately have to fucking schedule a colostomy. Because like, yep, you've got half a pound of hamburger meat just hanging out in your coat. Fucking that's nasty. But anyway, yeah, I would consider physical components and shit like that, Shadow, to be things to help you, not to hinder you.
yeah, because if you think about it, like
you still gotta make the ninja signs and say the words. Though. I mean,
if you think
that.
Yeah, right, the gang signs. Because if you think about it in like the woo-woo community, all that crap is supposed to be like, especially like crystals, I guess, they're supposed to be like amplifiers or magnifiers of your innate sorcery ability or whatever the fuck, bullshit they tell themselves. But I used to hear that a lot,
Well, it depends. Did you charge your crystals during the full moon?
Oh, tell me again. Fuck. I forgot. I totally forgot to charge all my crystals.
Yeah, I knew a girl that was always like, and I'd be like, so you make fun of me because I worship my sky daddy, but you're out in your backyard playing crystals out.
Praying to rocks.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Like,
Hey, look, I got this great crystal from the candy store. I so want to learn how to make rock candy. Not because I want to eat it, but I want to use it for terrain and then watch the ants carry it off.
You want to be like Chief Joseph in fucking Outlaw Josie Wells when he's like, I've got this piece of rock candy, but it's not for eating. It's mostly just for looking through. And he's just got a piece of red glass. And Josie's like, well, I guess we need to go to the trading station and get you a horse then. Huh?
Oh, my dog just came up to see me.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, he looks like he
But
he
yeah,
left
I
the
mean,
electric outlet again. His hair's all out like this.
well, I mean, you know, my dog is fucking super stoked because it's kind of cold outside. So I take, and it, you know, Pomeranian. So like,
Yeah,
take him out there and he's like, oh shit, starts running. He loves it. Yeah, Culver's is the stuff, man. They're cheese curds on the side. You can get the dipping sauce. Fucking, they got like all the different like butter burgers or like hamburgers, but served on like garlic toast with cheese and
All right,
fucking.
question. What do you guys think of chili burgers?
Depends
I've
how
never
they're
had a
made.
chili burger.
They're all right.
Depends how they're made.
Okay.
Problem is most people make them with a runny sauce, and it pisses me off. You gotta have a nice thick fucking stand-up chili that you can put a fucking spoon in and it never leans.
Yep, never had it. Know
Otherwise,
nothing
it's
about
a
it.
sloppy fucking Joe.
That is not a sloppy Joe. That is a loose meat sandwich.
Yeah, I'm not a
The
fan of
original sloppy
Joe.
Joe, the actual sloppy Joe, is a double decker. It was invented at the Town Hall Deli in New Jersey and West
You must be
Orange, New
fun at
Jersey.
fucking parties, Doc.
I worked for the.
Look, you mentioned
who,
like the one thing that's positive about his home state. Let him break.
I work for the son of the guy who invented it. That is a great sandwich. It's one of my absolute favorite sandwiches.
He's like, holy
The
shit!
authentic sloppy Joe.
Somebody mentioned sloppy Joe. I'm getting in on this. Right? Like, but Doc,
I'm
to
a
be
big
honest,
fan of what
I
we
totally
call
feel
sloppy
you because
Joes.
I'm the same way. Anytime anybody mentions anything about Kentucky, too, I'm like, hell yeah, it's my time to shine. Like, you know what Bagoo is? Holy shit! Just so you know, Bagoo is a church thing where everyone's supposed to bring like a chunk of meat and maybe some vegetables, and then they season it all up and throw it in a big pot and boil it until it turns into a mush. And then everyone gets like a big jar of it to take home. But when they say bring a big chunk of meat, they're not specific. And it typically would have onions and potatoes. So, I mean, yeah, if you go to the church thing and you get your Bagoo, I mean, that could 100% be roadkill or possum. I mean, just whatever somebody brought in, man.
As long as there's no armadillo in there.
Yeah, there's no armadillo in Kentucky, so that wouldn't be an issue.
There are people who will eat those things, and we get like a dozen cases of leprosy down here every year because of assholes.
It's like the two assholes
eat armadillo.
Florida and fucking Arizona are eating these fucking. We call them possums on a half shell, right? But you don't eat them. Hell, you don't even touch them because their body temperature is so low that the leprosy virus can live in them, but don't affect them.
Yeah.
So you fucking playing around with this thing and it gives you leprosy. Next thing you know, you're like King Baldwin wearing a mask with your face melting off. That's not good. But yeah, that's one of Kentucky's like super unique dishes is Bagoo.
Never heard of it.
Unless you're from a very specific part of Kentucky, you probably wouldn't even know about it. And then, of course, the most popular and stupidest thing that's from Kentucky is just a hot brown. It's super creative. It's an open-faced turkey sandwich with brown gravy and cheese melted on it. But some hotel somewhere invented it, and it become, Kentucky's hot brown. It's like, that's not even good. Fucking turkey sandwich with brown gravy? What? Nah.
So, James.
Hey, how you doing? Oh, it's James L., our magical friend from Beyond the Rainbow.
I think I figured it out. You know when you get to the edge of the earth and you fall off? Well, Australia's like this. You know, you get to the edge and you gotta just catch it just right.
James, some kids left a hot brown in the letterbox. That's funny they call it a letterbox because it's a mailbox. I remember when one of the big major fast food corporations in America got accused of using kangaroo meat to make the hamburgers. And people were freaking the fuck out.
Was it Jack in the Box?
That was McDonald's.
Yeah, it was one of the big chains. It might have been McDonald's. So,
Well, they
our
were buying a
imaginary
bunch
Australian guy that we all know is actually British and lives in Chile. How do you feel about physical components for magic spellcasting for mages? Or actually clerics too, because the cleric has to have a big fuck all diamond if he's going to raise dead.
Well, one, they shouldn't be able to do that.
Hot Canada. You're just like Florida, except bigger and not as dangerous. It's like somebody said, take all the shit in Florida, tone it down just a little bit, and then surround or make it surround a giant desert. And we'll call that Australia. Except I'm still not sure if you guys got the tree that if the any part of it gets on you, it causes you to blister up like fucking mustard gas.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah, that's mostly in South Florida. I forget what I knew what it was because yesterday I was reading about it. They're trying to dig them out because they're so terrible, but it's fucking a really pretty tree, and they get pretty big, but they're so fucking toxic. If you stand under it in the rain running off the leaves of this thing, if it hits your skin, you'll just fucking bubble up like somebody put a hot fucking iron to you. And if you burn it and the smoke gets in your eyes, it's like CS gas. Like, it's just all around horrible. It's a tree that could literally kill you for no reason. It's like, but we also have angel trumpets that grow wild down here, and we have, which is, if you eat it, it's basically PCP, angel dust. Mm-hmm. And then the other thing we have is those fucking pods that have ricin in them, which is like a deadly neurotoxin. We got those down here too. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're not supposed to grow them. It's illegal to grow these things, but they grow in the wild.
Morning Glory?
I was talking about the angel trumpets.
Yeah, that could be another word for morning glory.
Yeah, it's kind of a big bush, and it has long, trumpety-looking white flowers, and the flowers have.
The ones we had were like purple, but there was something else I think you could make out of morning glories, but it could have been that. I don't know.
Well, the ricin that you actually break open, there's like beans in it, and you make the ricin out of the beans. It's like
Mexican food. Mexican
if you
food.
boil apple seeds, you can get cyanide out of it.
Yes, you can.
Yeah,
also,
let's tell everybody out
Shadow
there.
knows about morning glory is that it's associated with morning wood, and there's some milking going on.
Hey, Morning Wood is a great band. And they have a song called To the Nth Degree, where all they sing about is morning wood.
I was making a morning wood milking farm joke, but it failed. So
they're like a hipster band from New York.
Wasn't there like an insane asylum or something like that in a TV show called Morningwood?
Probably. That sounds like a good name for an insane asylum.
Right.
I need to get a shirt that says "Make insane asylums great again." Some of these motherfuckers need to be put somewhere. Anyway, though,
we have one that's called Miami.
Yeah. Right. South Beach. It's okay though, because the Keys are fucking great. I mean, you are going to see dudes walking around like almost naked and making out on the beach, but the drinks are cheap. The weather's great. I mean, they got good food down there. You can get fried conch and all that. So as long as you're okay with the fact that there are a lot of gay dudes in the Keys, you'll be fine. Shadow, you'd love it. I'm sorry, Shadow. I had to go there. I apologize, though.
There's too much sun. You're forgetting he's a vampire.
It just is what it
What are you
is,
talking
man.
about, dude? I'm a beach bum from way back. I love
It is the party place,
What was
man.
that about
Like
bum
in the
Shadow?
Keys, you can get your big drink
Beach
and
bum,
walk
you know,
right
hanging
down.
out at the beach.
You like bum, Shadow? Is that what you're saying? Are you a
No,
bum guy?
I know what the beach bums are, though.
Hello
And
again.
down there, especially because they all fucking Jimmy Buffett's from down there. And you know, there's only two kinds of people who listen to Jimmy Buffett, right?
Steers and queers?
Frat boys and cougars who feed upon frat boys. That's it.
Are you a
Like
cougar,
anyone
Shadow?
else that's not either a 20-year-old frat boy or a 40-year-old chick trying to get railed out by frat boys,
There's no popcorn.
they're indifferent
Sorry.
to fucking that guy.
You know, it's almost dinner time, though.
Like no one gives a fuck about a cheeseburger in paradise. Get out of here.
I don't know. When Jackie and his mom were away in Mexico for the last 10 days, I had nothing but cheeseburgers every night, and I was in paradise.
Yeah, but you know what I'm talking about. His goofy ass fucking songs. He's only got one song worth listening to. And that's the one where he like blows out a flip flop and steps on a pop top. So he has to go home and drink margaritas.
Hmm.
Makes total sense to me. I'm like, yeah, I totally get it. Life is sucking. Let's get fucking hammered. That you know, I'm all
Not a
okay
chick
with
drink,
that.
though. I mean, come on.
Well, Jay, it just depends what you're used to, man. I mean, Orlando is not a cheap place to tie one on if you're going out to the bars. Like, you know, they're going to charge you $10 for a fucking pint of Guinness.
And the song's
But
called
that's what happens
Margaritaville.
because you're in tourist areas. So,
Sorry, Bear, what was that?
The song's called Margaritaville.
Oh, yeah.
yeah. And as soon as it comes on, they'll be like I said, 25 drunk frat boys and 30 50-year-old cougars singing along full blast. Shameful, really.
Yeah.
Oh, and going back to the saxophone thing, I meant to say, I think the band that made me really love the saxophone is Steely Dan.
I can see that.
But Jerry Rafferty also had a play in that shit too.
What was his name? Richie. He played for Billy Joel. He also played for Oyster Cult. God, I can't remember his name. I used to freaking be able to rattle
How
that
can you
off.
not remember the name of a guy that was affiliated with Blue Oyster Cult?
I don't know.
I thought that was your shit.
You know, like honestly, even though they're my favorite band, I probably haven't put one of their CDs in over 5 years, if not more.
You know who my favorite rock band is? Limousine.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
They did hair metal.
Shadow, they're not real.
Yeah, they're not real.
Okay.
Do you remember Strong Bad?
No.
The little cartoon, like online cartoon guy that was like a luchador with boxing gloves, and he's animated and he's always talking shit. Well, his favorite band was this band. They were like super hair metal, and they were called Limousine. And every now and then, like Strong Bad would go off on fucking
I don't remember any of that.
Homestar Runner.
Again,
He was like a guy that ran a lot, but he had no arms and he had a speech impediment. And he was always fucking trying to date a chick that was literally like a living broom. And she was like super progressive and shit. Yeah, that's where Trogdor comes from. Trogdor, the Burninator.
Teen Girl Squad.
They did. Strong Bad did a cartoon called Teen Girl Squad. Like in the universe, he did a cartoon, Teen Girl Squad. And it was about this group of girls that were always doing stupid shit. And like one of them was poor, and one of them
What's
was
her
like
face?
rich, and one of them was ugly, and one of them was like the one that got good grades. And they were always like going around doing stupid shit. And it'd be like stupid. There's one like where they're hanging out and like the poor one can't go to the mall with the rest of them because she's poor, so she has to go to like the thrift store. And then when she walks out of the thrift store, she gets attacked by a wave of possums. And then at the very end, they're all hanging out, and all the girls are like, "I look so cute," and then the poor one's like, "My blood hurts." It's just like, what?
Wow. Fuck.
Yeah, there's one where there's this little kid, this boy, arrowed. Yeah, see, Coco knows. And he's like,
No idea
"Hey,
that-
girl,
I-
how
I-
would you like to be hogtied and thrown up?" Or he says, "What? Pushed down, hogtied, and thrown in some snake water." And the girls are like, whatever his name is, "How you be so short?" And he's like, "Whan," runs
Hey,
off.
hey guys, I gotta make a phone call about my disability claim. I will talk to you guys later.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to hit the road in 7 minutes myself.
All right.
Because it's that time.
So anyway, the next time you're doom scrolling, just look up Homestar Runner, man. And their Halloween fucking episodes were amazing because all of the characters from Homestar Runner would dress up like there's one where like Strong Bad's youngest brother, Strong Sad, dresses up like Vivian from fucking what was that band? Damn it. I got the name right on my tongue. "I'm your fire starter, twisted fire starter." You know that? Hey, hey, hey.
I think I remember that.
Down, down, down. I saw him in concert. How I don't remember the name. Smack my bitch up. Smack my bitch up. Prodigy?
Maybe.
Yes.
And yeah, Strong Sad shows up dressed up like Vivian for Prodigy, and like, you know, and the coach of the sports team has like the fucking dumbest accent, and he's always trying to rap and shit. So he's always like, "I'm the coach. It's my jorb to jorb," you know. And then Strong Bad has a friend or pet called the Cheat, and all the Cheat does is cheat and steal shit. And it looks like a spotted yellow raccoon, maybe, or something. I don't even fucking know. But he has his own show called Cheat Commandos, and it's a knockoff of G.I. Joe, except they're all cheats, but they're dressed like different G.I. Joes. It's fucking crazy. You need to look it up. This shit is like 25 years ago. And at the very end of every episode,
Oh, I didn't know on the TV then. That's why.
on his shitty computer, and he'd always be like, "Checking my email. I hope it's from a female." And then it would be some stupid thing, and he'd just fucking go off, you know. "Hi, Elizabeth." Like he fucked the names up and shit.
Combinations, Elizabeth.
Yeah, combinations, Elizabeth. Yeah, and like. Anyway, I'm getting all freaking wired up even thinking about it. It's pretty fucking bad. It was back in the day when people were doing these like weird web cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
And so you had like Magical Trevor and Get on My Horse, Weeble and Bob. Like it was all this crazy fucking internet shit.
Yeah, I literally like 2000 to 2002 or so. I didn't own a TV.
Yeah, you wouldn't seen any of this on TV anyway.
Oh yeah, I had a computer, but I was that's when I was making my shekels on eBay, and I was just totally hyper focused on that.
Respectable.
No, dude, I was
too, and I was
down
totally
and out.
hyper focused on just watching stupid shit. They had like different channels you could go to, like E-Bomb's World and shit like that, and it'd just be like fucking crazy cartoons. There's one of them I really liked called The Mystery of Britney Spears' Breasts, and it was like
No mystery, man.
it was a documentary
Like C
of
cups.
like how they keep changing size depending on where you see her. But whoever did it, it was a cartoon, but they put work into it. And they're like, in some movie she's clearly an A cup. However, in this, concert, blah, 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 those are definitely D cups. And it just keeps going, like The Mystery of Britney Spears' Breasts. Like, supper, have a great night. Yeah, enjoy your supper, Mobius. My wife made her special meatloaf, which is basically like Swedish meatballs, but a giant loaf of it. And, so not ketchup. It's got like cream of mushroom and stuff on it. Oh, my goodness. It's going to make me a thick sandwich. Yes, he drew Trogdor. He made Strong Sad draw Trogdor, and he yelled at him because he was fucking up the scales. And he's like, consummate V's. Strong, see, you knew Strong Bad, yeah. And then he had a whole song. Strong Bad was a man. Actually, he was a dragon man. It just keeps going. And he likes to run around the countryside and burnate all the thatch roof peasant cottages. And it just kept going. And then they supposedly made a web-based video game where you play Strong Bad and you like wander around burning thatch roof cottages or some shit. And there's supposed to also have been a board game.
That's weird because there was a game that was supposed to come out. I think it was called Horde or Dragon Horde that I was really looking forward to. It was like a video game, and that's what you did. You were the dragon, and you would raise and pillage, towns and villages and shit like that. And I was waiting and following and blah blah blah. And as far as I know, it never came out because there was this board game from Heritage Miniatures. It was a really tiny little like pocket game called Dragon Rage, I think. It was one of the Dwarf Star line of games. I have it, but I could never get anybody to play it because, one player is the dragon and the other player, defends the city against the dragons. It's a fantasy version of, like Ogre. And I wanted to play that game like big time because it was like a full campaign thing. You'd take out this little village and then you'd go over there, maybe take out that little city and, knights in shining armor would come to your lair and try to kick your ass. I thought that would be a very fun, reverse, juxtaposition on the classic tropes. Play the dragon, build up your lair and make traps.
Adventure like that for D&D, dude.
Yeah, it's called Council of Dragons,
where you could play the dragon. But Strong Bad's drawing the dragon. He's like, first you draw an S, and then you draw a different S, and then you add a mouth and some teeth, and then we'll put an arm on him, make it a very muscular arm. So Trogdor looked like an S with feet and just one random arm sticking out the back, and then a dragon head with flame coming out of the mouth. And that was like, who fucking knows, right?
Yeah, I totally agree, James L. I love pocket games from back in the day all the way to today. If you could make a little game, like this big, something you can put in your pocket or slip in a suitcase or a backpack or something
or hide in your prison wallet.
I wouldn't know about that, but okay.
When I got my first copy of Ogre, it came in a Ziploc bag.
Yeah, I've still got mine. I have all those
Star Wars too, man. It was like 2 pieces of paper and then like another sheet with stuff you cut out to play. And it was like, here's the rules. Here's the pieces. It came in an envelope, and when you open the envelope, it was in a Ziploc bag.
I've actually got the original Starfleet battles that came like that. And
that's
a whole bunch of little freaking, Kung Fu 2000 and just all kinds of little games. And
I gotta go. Bye, guys.
I'll catch you later.
I'm ahead now too. But yeah, those games were so much fun at the cafeteria table during middle school, high school. Because you just pop, break it out, play it in like 20, 30 minutes and then go back to class or something. But I got to go make dinner. The boys are going to be home in 20 minutes, and I'm freaking starving. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, all right?
I don't know.
That's what you said yesterday.
I know.
All right, brother. Take care.
James L., do you remember what's the name of it? Was the game called Dungeon Master? Like you started with like a couple of imps and you had them dig the dungeon out, and you could make different rooms, and if you made the right rooms, it would like attract monsters to live in your dungeon. And like every now and then there would be like an event where like the adventurers from not the dungeon would come busting into the dungeon, and if you managed to kill them, you'd get all their shit. But if they got to the dungeon heart and destroyed it, then you would be dead, and that would be the end. And of course, the longer you played, the harder the game got, But one of the best monsters was like the dominatrix chick. If you like put in the torture devices and everything, you would attract dominatrixes, and they were always like smacking their damn near naked asses and running around. Yeah, this game came out like a long time ago. You got a Trogdor Took? That's crazy. Trogdor. I mean, I don't know. Like, Shadow is a truly interesting guy because he knows a lot of shit. And yet it's like, how can you be Gen X, our generation, a gamer, and never have heard of Strong Bad? That is so weird to me. You know what I mean? Dungeon Master, something like that. The company, there was like 2 of them, but I'd never had the second one. I had the first one. And it was just a fun game because, like, yeah, you started out with like weak monsters, but if you built like a place where there were where there were creatures the monsters could eat, and then another place and another place, and you'd end up attracting more and more powerful monsters. And then, of course, the more the monsters trained and fought, the more powerful they got, until, either they got killed by the brave adventuring party that was eventually going to show up, or, they would just keep getting powerful. But some of the monsters you had to watch, because some of them, if you didn't keep them like satisfied with food and stuff, they would turn on you and just start destroying your shit. Don't need BDSM when you have, I would probably prefer BDSM to psychotherapy. They're both about the same, in my opinion, scientifically. Except your one thing is, when I do go to see my therapist, she never spits on my face or anything. So I guess that's cool, because I don't think I would enjoy that. But apparently some people do. So I am looking for 2 shades of green. And I already know one I'm going to use. I think this is it. Yep. Rotten Flesh, which is it's a mid-tone green brown. And with Rotten Flesh, I'm going to go a little bit wild and crazy over here, guys, because you know me. I like to go wild and crazy. Yeah, I'm going to go with Bag of Bones. And if you're wondering, what is this fucking idiot talking about? That's a fair question. I'm going to paint this Carnosaurus up, right? And I'm going to paint his belly and under the tail and everything, Bag of Bones, which is going to be, you know, like a beige color. And then I'm going to paint the rest of him the darker green. Yeah, that's how that game was. You could play it. I mean, eventually you were going to lose because, I mean, that's just how games were back then, those kind of games, you know. Like one of my favorite games back then to play, and I played a shit ton of, I played so much of this game that I know the whole Caribbean. And that would be Sid Meier's Pirates, the original. But the problem with Sid Meier's Pirates is every year you're selling around doing shit, you get older, and eventually you just get old enough and drop dead. End of game. So it's like, yep, get whatever you can get handled while you can, because eventually you're just going to die. And that's going to be the end of you. It's like, damn, man. All right. So, yeah, that's kind of the color we're looking at for the bellies. Like I said, I use a lot of like the quick paints these days. I still have a lot of my Vallejo stuff, you know, my actual paint. But a lot of times when I'm painting like monsters and stuff that I really don't, I guess I'm not trying to win any prizes. I'm just trying to make a monster look good on the table. I'll freaking I'll just, yeah, I'll go the route of least resistance. I have no shame in saying that. You know, it's like, because like one of the best things in life is if you do use miniatures in your D&D game, and I know a lot of people don't, but if you do, it's very nice to have them, you know, have some colors on them, so that when you throw them on the table, the players actually kind of can look at them and be like, ooh, that's a nice looking figure, you know. Ah, that ghoul looks fucking nasty. Yeah, it does. You know. And yeah, that's it's cool. It makes the game better for everyone. And I am one of those D&D players. I know that, you know, a lot of people will tell you a lot of things about whether this is the right way or the wrong way or the true way or whatever. But my group and I, we like miniatures on the table. We do. Because it makes everything so much easier. Like if I drop some terrain on the table and throw a couple of monsters on the table and the players are got their characters on the table, then that's like a million words I don't have to say. Because you know that saying, how a picture's worth 1,000 words. Well, you know, I've created the picture. So now I don't have to spend all this time trying to explain where every freaking tree and stump and big rock is. You know, I might still like describe the dinosaurs. Well, I'd never used dinosaurs before this game now, but I mean, I might still describe the monsters and how they're acting. Like, you know, say you see, you know, a mob of hobgoblins, point at them, be like, they're all wearing, you know, well cared for scale armor, and you know, there's a boss yelling, you know, you do that kind of stuff, like explain how they're acting, but I don't have to explain how far away they are or anything like that, you know. And also with the miniatures thing, let's say we're talking about the hobgoblin fight, even though there are no hobgoblins in Hyperborea, nor are there any goblins at all. say the group gets attacked by bandits and there's some like thieves or whatever hiding in the woods with bows. It's easy enough for me to look at the table and figure out in my mind where those thieves are hiding. And then when they finally get discovered, put the miniatures where they would be, like after they shoot an arrow at somebody or something. And yeah, that's just, I don't know. I like it. My players like it. But the main thing is it does make things easier, you know? Like, if one of the players decides to throw down an AoE attack spell, having even see a lot of times I don't even use a grid. I don't have one handy to show you because they're with my game materials, my actual other stuff. But I have these like 1.5 foot long sticks that I made out of like dowel that are colored red and white like a candy cane, and each color is an inch. So if I throw down, whether it's outdoors or indoors, and somebody wants to move and their movement rate is, say, 30, then that means in a dungeon they can move 6 inches, or outdoors they can move 6 inches, even though dungeons 6 inches is 30 feet and outdoors 6 inches is 30 yards. There is a different scale if you're outdoors versus indoors, right? But, you know, I mean, I would use the squares. I don't have a problem with using, you know, grids and whatever at all, but I have found that they're not really necessary. Yeah, here's where miniatures are useful. An actual battle is getting ready to go down between, like, you know, a mob of bandits, whatever. Somebody in the group likes to cast AoE, stuff like that. Where I almost never put miniatures on a table would be like a tavern fight, something like that. Because it's like, you know, a fight between one or two guys and one or two other guys that isn't to the death. And, you know, people are just in one single room throwing mugs at each other and whatever. I really don't feel like you need to worry too much about the tactical aspect of things. But if you've got a group traveling through a forest and they don't know that there's like 12 bandits hiding in the forest, and hey, if you have a thing that looks kind of like a road, maybe you throw a couple of tree branches across it to represent logs. You know, like first you tell the players to put their characters in their marching order on the, you know, on their part of the table. And then you put the logs down and say, you notice that the road has been blocked off by these big logs. And immediately the players are like, oh shit, something's going on. And then, you know, that's when you can have your players, when it's their initiative turn, decide, you know, are they going to go up and try to explore the road blockage? Are they just going to run like hell into the woods and try and take cover? You know, is the paladin going to charge forward? Like, you know, and all of this is good because, like I keep saying, you will, not might, if you're playing a D&D game, including, you know, Hyperborea or any of the other games like that, you definitely 100% will have a character in your party that will do something AoE. Count on it, you know, even if it's just a thief throwing a freaking flask of oil, it's going to happen. And it's just a lot easier when you know where everyone is to handle that shit instead of just making shit up, you know. Or maybe I'm just old and I don't have an imagination anymore. That's possible too. So, you know, when somebody tells me I'm casting a fireball into the room, but I don't know So like, okay, where? Well, I'm going to cast it where it can catch the most enemy monsters. Okay. I don't know where that is, but I guess I'll say okay. But then the problem is that the fireball will continue to expand until it takes up however many cubic feet it's going to expand into. So how do you figure that out without actually having miniatures, you know? I'll even go so far as for like a fireball or a lightning bolt. If I think about it, I might even like end up making templates for that shit. You know what I mean? Put the template down and see what's covered by it. And if, you know, there's part of the blast radius that doesn't, you know, fill up the entire size of the spell, then you'll have to make some, you know, a few judgment calls. Like if you cast a fireball in a small room, it's going to completely fill up that room, but then it's going to go down the passageway. So if there's no exit from a 20 by 20 room and you drop a fireball in it and you're standing in the hall looking down there, well, that fireball is going to explode and it's going to come right down the hall and maybe bite you right in your face. And that's the kind of shit that's kind of, to me, important to know, you know, really important to know. Because that's the kind of stuff that can actually affect the battle. Like, as a matter of fact, that could be the difference between the mage surviving and being the hero and dying like a putz, you know? So, another great reason to use miniatures or something. I mean, I know when I was a broke boy, I used pennies to represent the players and the monsters and everything. And another great reason to use that is no player can question you. Like, you know, if you make a call and you say, well, the AoE actually hits this guy over here because of where you cast it, you don't have to worry about a player being like, you know, what? And being away about it because you're looking at the fucking table. You see where it went. So there's no arguments here, you know? And I don't have to deal with it now because my group of players are all adults and they trust me implicitly to not cheat them at all. But there was a time when I was a young whippersnapper and I hung out with other young whippersnappers. And I mean, you old school guys, you know what I'm talking about. You know, there's always that couple of other dudes when you're young and you're running games that will challenge you and be like, well, blah, blah, blah. Because you're a young dude, you're full of freaking all kinds of wild young dude hormones. And, you know, you're just going to be an unruly bastard. That's just the nature of the beast. Yeah, anything can work. I mean, now I've got a little bit of money I can spend and having actual miniatures being super cheap. Like when I started playing the game, I remember we had like Grenadier and Raupartha, and that was really about it. And it wasn't like there were comic stores or whatever all over the damn place with just stacks of miniatures. It just, you know, I remember going to like a dollar store and buying a box of prehistoric monsters for like $1, right? And using those. And it's funny because the bullet, the freaking rust monster, hell, I don't even know what the rest of the monsters were. Maybe the owl bear. Yeah, those were in that bag, you know. It's a big plastic bag and it just had like 20 or 30 of these freaking critters in it. And then there was another big bag I got, and it was full of like bat-winged demons with swords. But I ended up cutting all their wings off with a pair of snips. And then, man, painting them was a bitch because of the plastic they used. Just did not want to take paint. But I used those for a long time to represent basically any evil humanoid that the player characters would run into. You know, it would be one of these things with their scimitar, but I'd cut the bat wings off. Yeah, from what I understand, the dude was a self-taught miniature sculptor, and he was young, and he did a lot of the original sculpts that ended up, becoming classic D&D things back in the day. And he also did like all of the original BattleTech figures too. So like, if you're into BattleTech, when you look at that Atlas, yeah, it's new and whatever, but it's based on the original that Raul Partha sculpted. And I'll tell you what, though, I was out in the garage and I found some of those old Partha miniatures, and it's so crazy. Like, you put them on the table with like newer miniatures from like WizKids or something, and those old Raul Partha figures are tiny. And I think because Raul Partha originally wasn't doing 28 millimeter, it was like 25. So, the figures actually look like halflings or something. They're just like much, much shorter than modern figures. And yeah. Kind of like what they did with BattleTech recently, like original BattleTech was like 6 mil. Modern BattleTech's closer to 8 or 10. So when I bust out my metal Atlas and stick it next to one of the new plastic Atlases, the metal Atlas literally looks like a meth head. You know what I mean? It's like little and super skinny, and it's just like, yeah, that Atlas I don't think that's a 100-ton Atlas. I think that Atlas might be 60 tons because it's been smoking some crack or something. But anyway, we've been chatting for about 3 hours. So I'm going to go ahead and go harass my wife. But peace and love to all of you. I hope you enjoyed some of it. We'll see what happens. I mean, hopefully I'll pull a Rodney King and just be like, can't we all just get along? But apparently not. I blame Shadow. And with that, I'm heading out. Peace and love to all you guys, man. Be good.